change. I can say it'll be the same. Be the same. You never know. You never know.
671-922-1051 or 1052. We are online, the wave105.com, as well as our YouTube channel, Wave 105.1 FM Guam. I got this notice, and we'll start this off as a public service announcement, right?
Okay.
Notice from Public Health that their phone lines have been disrupted, right? So they're currently experiencing temporary disruption in their phone services that are affecting the following public health offices and clinics: the Tizen WIC Clinic, the Inalahan WIC Clinic, the WIC Administrative Office in Tizen, and the Immunization Program Office. The service provider has been notified and is actively working to restore full service. Operations remain open and services continue as scheduled. During the temporary phone outage, clients may contact the following alternative numbers. So for WIC, you can call regarding the Tizen WIC Clinic 788-6284. 788-6284 or 788-6285. 788-6285. For Inalahan's WIC Clinic, you can call 727-0127. 727-0127. For the WIC Administrative Office, you can, which is in Tizen, you can call 483-7264. 483-7264. For the Immunization Program Office, the alternative number is 689-4179. 689-4179. And if I get another notice from Public Health stating that their phone lines are back in order, we'll be sure to share that with you, our audience, right? In the meantime, though, if you do need those numbers again, feel free to call us up, 671-922-1051. I'll be happy to share that with you. Public Health recognizes that reliable communication is important for families accessing essential health and nutrition services. We appreciate the community's patience while the issue is being resolved. An additional notice will be issued, again, once phone services are fully restored. And once I see that notice come in via our email, we'll share that. I did watch the Secretary of Defense's press conference this morning with General Kane.
Okay.
Dan Kane, who is he's the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, right?
Yeah.
The Joint Chiefs of Staff. So he gave more details of Operation Epic Fury. It's funny because he was saying, we didn't start this war. I'm like, really? The American people went to sleep, then there was no war, and then woke up to chaos. But I mean, he gives his argument, right? So, described it as the largest, most precise, and most lethal air campaign in history. The mission targeted Iran's missile systems, missile production facilities, Navy, security infrastructure, and nuclear program.
Yeah.
And the goal is to ensure Iran never gets nuclear weapons. So he argues that Iran has been attacking Americans. This is where he says, we didn't start this war.
Mm-hmm.
They've been threatening us for 47 years. Not just us, but the world. Just terrorizing the world for 47 years. He describes it as Iranian aggression. He blames Iran for the bombings in Beirut, attacks on U.S. embassies, roadside bombs in Iraq and Afghanistan, and support for militias that killed American troops. And so he claims that Iran was close to building nuclear weapons, even after Operation, Warhammer?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I thought we obliterated them and we basically lengthened their timeline to more nuclear weapons by decades, but apparently not. I mean, they were once again a threat to building nuclear weapons that they they had to attack within a year, right? I think less than a year.
Yeah.
Iran was building missiles and drones to protect its nuclear program. Past diplomacy, especially under President Obama, failed. The Trump administration attempted diplomacy again, but Iran refused to make a deal. And so we were heading into the weekend knowing that there was some kind of discussion or agreement, negotiations. And then again, the American people went to sleep and woke up to chaos the next morning. And so what the operation aims to do, or aim to do, he says the mission is not about regime change, not about occupying Iran, not about nation building like Iraq or Afghanistan. It's focused only on destroying Iran's military and nuclear capabilities. And so they use B-2 bombers, fighter jets, drones, even one-way drones. Like they knew it wasn't coming back. So they use those kind of drones. They use missiles and other classified weapons. I'm hearing about this light beam that Israel used.
Really?
Yeah, some technology. Some new, I don't know if it's like new, because when we say new technology, it's actually been in, they've been researching it, or they've been, it's been out for close to 10 years.
Was it laser guided missiles, or?
No, it's an actual beam.
Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, have you ever heard of the commercial piloted drones? They've been out since, I want to say, I don't know, maybe 10 years now, but they've been in research and development.
Okay.
And they're just, getting it better and better. Toyota has one.
Okay.
And so they're for sale, but they're just way out of our market. I remember as a kid, we used to go to this airfield, and they're not drones. They were just these go-karts with it looked like a lawnmower engine, and it flew.
Yeah. Wow.
And so we would go watch these people do it. And I remember one of the pilots went up to my dad and said, "Hey, we noticed you guys are watching. You guys want to go up?" And we're like, "Hell no." No. I don't want to die.
I'm not going to sign no waiver or anything. Probably
Yeah.
didn't have any waivers.
But that was the technology now. And now look, now you basically, they're calling it a Jetson something because it will fly you. You are the passenger. You just sit in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, everybody's saying, "Oh, this is new." I'm like, they've been researching this for at least 5 or 6 years, maybe even longer.
Probably longer.
Yeah.
If they perfected it.
And it's ready. You could buy it, but it's not street legal though. So you could buy it and you can fly it around your giant farm or something. Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, so on the role of Israel, he said Israel is a capable partner in the effort and is carrying out its own mission alongside the U.S. Yeah, because we fund them.
What's the mission?
we
You take them out, I'll take them out.
we fund them. They're America in the Middle East.
Pretty much.
I mean, not in the literal sense, but a lot of people acknowledge them. The countries around say that's America.
Yeah. I mean, it's the closest thing to America.
I mean, they're closer to being the 51st state than Puerto Rico is.
Good point.
Yeah. So again, he criticizes the political left because he says, you criticize the president and you're saying, "Oh, I thought you're the president of no more wars." And he goes, "Stop it.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah.
This is not Iraq." He argues that this is decisive and it's a limited mission. But when the reporters asked, "Okay, limited mission," President Trump said 4 weeks. What's the timeline? And then again, he just says, "Stop it. You think I'm going to tell you?"
Yeah.
You think I'm going to tell the media because you think I'm just going to put it out there for the public, for the enemies to hear too? We'll do whatever it takes.
You know.
So you're asking about boots on the ground? Will there be military members
Occupation.
in Iran? We're not going to tell you.
Yeah.
Are there now? No, but we're not going to put that out.
Well, it goes back to what we were talking about yesterday, you know, between Iraq and Afghanistan, where they did put boots in the ground and it ended up costing trillions.
Well, he calls it out the nation building. He goes, this is not nation building.
yeah.
There's a small window of opportunity for the people of Iran to take their government.
Yeah. 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 And I think one of the reporters ended up asking, okay, so you took out the leader, what next? You know, what happens now? He was like, well, there's a job opening.
Yeah.
And see, even in Iran, I'm creating jobs.
President Trump goes,
no tax.
we took out number one, we took out number two, we took out number three, we took out all their leaders. So this regime right now is done.
Yeah, there's openings.
So there's the concern though that there's, that if you look at history, that you can argue that you've got all of these other terrorist cells that came from the nation building of Iraq
Yeah,
and Afghanistan.
Taliban. Yeah, but and I think they're probably on the right track. Not if their plan is not to go in and let the Iranians, handle their affairs. They just needed. I mean, because, you have all the Iranians in Iran that are, like, all bent out of shape, because, they attacked, they killed their leader. But then you have everybody in the United States of Iranian descent celebrating out in the streets.
Well, there's 90 million Iranians, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's only a small sample size of people celebrating.
Yeah.
And a small sample size of people upset.
Yeah.
Like, look at America. We're not united.
Yeah.
We don't agree on a number of things. We
Yeah.
we didn't agree on Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
So 90 million people are not going to agree one way or another.
Yeah.
If it happened to us, if our president was killed, there will be dancing on the street.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
Yeah, but
there will be dancing on the street.
And then there'll be
But there will also be
people mourning.
people that are
martyrism.
demanding
Yeah.
World War III. Like,
much.
let's go.
Yeah.
There will be that.
Yeah.
And so you're going to see a number of people dancing. You're going to see a number of people furious. You're going to see a number of people mourning. But what we cannot forget are the civilian casualties all over. Not just Iran, but they attack civilian spaces all throughout the Middle East.
Back in 78, right before 79, 78, they had the hostage crisis in Iran when the U.S. was still there. So they took everybody from the embassy, anybody that was a foreigner or American. And there were like 30-some, 40-some. And it was under President Carter, all right? And he even actually, launched a mission to go get him, but it was unsuccessful. And some of the Special Forces guys ended up passing away. The moment Ronald Reagan came in, they were like, man, we knew how to, like, get under the skin of President Carter. How are we going to, we don't know anything about this cowboy coming in from California, movie star and all. But, he was one of those presidents that he wasn't going to be tested by Iran because he kept criticizing how Jimmy Carter was handling it. And when he came in, guess what? They let go the hostages. They did not want to mess with him, and so now it's, with when you look at the different contrasts, right? You look at Trump, how he tries to pattern himself with the Ronald Reagan era, Reaganism pretty much. But, these guys are putting up a fight in Iran. They're like, no. So, after like 40-some years of, being under this regime, some people, that's all they know. They don't know prior to, right? And so that's
and to think that they're just going to pick up the same kind of government as us, that's just foolish.
Yeah.
They have their own culture, they have their own religion.
Yep.
They're going to decide, right? And we'll see, because there are so many other cells out there that can just take that power
Yeah.
and continue to oppress people.
Yeah, and hopefully they do it right, because we've seen it, like you said. When they took out Saddam Hussein, it was like, okay, now you have all these groups wanting to be. I mean, they even put a puppet governor or president. I forgot his name, but that guy didn't last. Because he was pretty much a puppet for the United States. That was a guy like, oh, okay, this is our guy, and we're like, no, we don't recognize him. And
Because Dick Cheney's really running the country.
Yeah, Halliburton. I was like, hey, that's my boy Dick, man. We hung out when he came to Guam.
So, okay, real quick before we go to the break, right? Because the general, he shared more about the mission itself, right?
Okay.
Epic Fury, or Operation Epic Fury. And so he said the operation was run by the U.S. Central Command, or CENTCOM. We've been hearing a lot of CENTCOM, right? They've been giving updates. I believe we've lost 4 military members now, right? So he again began with condolences for Department of War personnel that were killed and wounded so far again. And he says they are heroes. And he warns the public that this is not a one-night strike, and the military expects more losses because he describes it as a major combat operation. And so what the mission is trying to do, the goal is to protect U.S. forces and partners, stop Iran from projecting power outside its borders, and be ready for follow-on actions if ordered. And he said the U.S. is attacking Iran across every domain: land, air, sea, cyber, and space. He said the operation was the result of months or years of planning.
Okay.
And that over the last 30 days, the U.S. rapidly repositioned forces to give President Trump options. He listed major force movements, including thousands of troops. And we saw the movement a month out. We saw carriers starting to head in that direction. We saw some movement. We saw resources moving too. I won't tell you exactly how I was getting my information, but we have family members in the military.
Yeah.
And they're not sharing the details, but there's movement.
Yeah.
And it was all pointing to the Middle East. Hundreds of advanced fighter jets from the fourth and fifth generation, dozens of refueling tankers, 2 carrier strike groups, Abraham Lincoln and Gerald Ford, a continuing flow of munitions, fuel, intel, surveillance, recon, and command and control support. He also mentioned that the National Guard and Reserve involvement of the F-35s were being redirected across the Atlantic instead of going home. And so there was a go order. He said the final order came at 3:38 p.m. on Friday, February 27th, quoting Trump, approving the operation with no aborts, good luck. And he said the first major action were non-kinetic. U.S. Cyber Command and Space Command worked first to disrupt Iran's ability to see and communicate and respond. And when the opening attack began, more than 100 aircraft launching from land and sea, which were fighters, tankers, early warning, electronic attack bombers, unmanned platforms. A daylight strike tied to a trigger event involved Israeli forces because of U.S. intelligence. And he said that early strikes included Tomahawk missiles that were fired by the U.S. Navy and a precision standoff weapons that were fired all across the region. He claimed the U.S. struck more than 1,000 targets in the first 24 hours. And so the focus has been so far the Iranian command and control, their naval forces, ballistic missile sites, and intelligence infrastructures. He claims that these attacks and cyberspace disruptions produced local air superiority, which he says protected U.S. forces and enables continued strikes. Just as long as there's no friendly fire. because we saw the 3 planes were taken down by friendly fire, right? And so what happened over roughly 57 hours? General Kane said the U.S. has flown hundreds of missions, fired tens of thousands of pieces of ordnance. The operation is still scaling up. B-2 bombers flying a 37-hour round trip from the continental U.S. to hit underground facilities with penetrating munitions, and Israel continues to conduct hundreds of sorties against hundreds of targets, all like separate, at separate times. And let me see here. They use the Patriot and THAAD batteries. Those are things that we're somewhat familiar with because that's what they want to install here.
Yeah.
Right? For our missile defense system. Navy destroyers with ballistic missile defense capabilities are also in the area and continue to be in the area. He claims that defense has intercepted hundreds of ballistic missiles aimed at U.S. forces and their partners. Also, one-way attack drones remain a persistent threat, but defenses have been effective. So Iran was also sending one-way attack drones in their direction. And so on the aircraft loss, he said he is aware of the loss of the 3 U.S. Air Force F-15E aircrafts overnight. He said the crews are safe, and he said it was not caused by enemy fire, but it is under investigation, so he's not going to comment any further. They also asked about, I think they asked Marco Rubio in a whole nother interview, did Israel or did the U.S. attack a school with school children, mostly girls? And he said he'll get the information, but he doesn't have the details. Clearly, they don't target schools. And then he countered with that. He says, but Iran does, and Iran has, and they have done so in retaliation, but we're not attacking civilians. We're not going after civilian infrastructure. So he doesn't have all the details on what happened to the school in Iran, but he's saying that was definitely not part of the mission.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take the break, and we'll be right back. We'll get you your CBS News. Thanks for hanging out with us. It's The Brightside with myself and Ryan, KGUM FM in Dededo, Guam.
Pick up package at the post office? Check. Drop off dry cleaning? Check. Gas up? Check. Pick up online order at Subway? Check. You value your time and efficiency. So when you order at SubwayPacific.com, Subway makes sure your sub, salad, or wrap is ready for you. With just a few taps on your phone on SubwayPacific.com, your food will be ready to pick up at your convenience or delivered via Good to Go. Either way, when you order online at SubwayPacific.com, you can do your thing while Subway gets your meal fresh and ready for you. At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh.
A challenge to current and future tomorrow generations. Hinasu ginini Komisyon Ifino Tamoro, Ekunguk si Dr. Laura M. Torres Sauter.
There are generations of Tamoros who went before you, who have paved the way. Recognize them always. We have to recognize our ancestors. We have to recognize those who are pace setters, who contributed to where we are at today. But don't be afraid to move forward. Don't be afraid to write your own chapter. If you are left out, it's because you didn't do a damn thing about it. If Chamorro language dies in the next generation, 30 years, it's because your generation didn't do anything about it. All I ask the future generations is to take their role in this quest seriously.
Calling all engaged couples and event planners. Join Leo Palace Resort Guam for our first ever bridal and event expo, The Road to I Do. Happening March 21st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Zafiro Ballroom. Explore venue options, financial planning, bridal glam, formal wear, wellness, entertainment services, and more, all in one place. The Road to I Do at Leo Palace Resort Guam. Design your day, define your forever. Special thanks to Power 98, Wave 105, and Route 99.
You're listening to KGUM FM Dededo, Wave 105.1 FM, the Talk of Guam, a proud Glimpses media radio station.
is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. The Pentagon says 6 American service members have died in the fighting with Iran, and the administration is warning that more Americans could die. More from CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick.
The military says the remains of 2 previously unaccounted for service members were recovered from a facility in Kuwait hit by Iran over the weekend. On Capitol Hill, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the casualty toll would be higher if the administration hadn't acted after Israel began its attacks.
We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties.
The Pentagon says more American casualties are likely.
As the U.S. and Israel continue to pound targets in Iran, President Trump says the attacks could last another 4 to 5 weeks or longer. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the U.S. was justified in attacking Iran because of fears Iran would retaliate against American assets in the region if it was attacked by Israel. Details from CBS's Olivia Gazis.
He is now saying that the imminent threat wasn't necessarily an unprovoked Iranian strike. Rather, it was the expectation that if Iran were attacked, it would immediately retaliate against U.S. forces. And because the U.S. anticipated Israeli action, he said the Pentagon had assessed the U.S. wouldn't want to wait and absorb that first blow. Instead, it needed to act first in order to reduce American casualties.
The House Oversight Committee has released the video of Bill and Hillary Clinton answering questions about Jeffrey Epstein. CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns has some experts.
In Friday's deposition, former President Bill Clinton said he had no idea about Jeffrey Epstein's crimes.
Were there anybody on the flights that you can recall under age 18? To the best of my knowledge, there was not.
The former president traveled on Epstein's plane around a dozen times, he says, for philanthropic work. Clinton is featured prominently in the Epstein files.
The Supreme Court today barred the enforcement of a California law that restricts the ability of schools to notify parents about students who come out as transgender. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum.
Parents and educators who brought this case are arguing that the First Amendment's free exercise of religion clause is being denied as schools are enabling children to make decisions inconsistent with their parents' religious beliefs. California is arguing that children have a right to privacy regarding their gender expression.
President Trump says he plans to attend the annual White House Correspondents Association dinner in April. If he follows through, it'll be the first time he's appeared at the dinner as president. This is CBS News.
I want to know what's going on in the world.
I'm Tony.
There are big questions that all of us are asking. I want to get you the answers.
How are you?
I'm Tony DeCopel. Join me on the CBS Evening News.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday. Scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
DQ presents the Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ soft serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into soft serve. Plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy, tastes good. Participation may vary.
New research finds a growing number of American teens aren't getting enough shut-eye.
Columbia University professor Mark Olfson says a large sample of nearly 121,000 students finds that
high school students in America aren't getting enough sleep.
And the problem is getting worse. Data from 2007 through 2023 finds that the number of students getting some 7 hours of sleep is up nearly 7%, driven by a rise of those getting about 5 hours of sleep.
It has implications for mental health.
Olfson says starting school later in the day has helped some teens get more sleep. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
The researchers found the lack of sleep is significantly higher among black students. Actor Robert De Niro will appear Tuesday night at Carnegie Hall, where he'll read excerpts from a Philip Glass symphony about Abraham Lincoln. Glass had planned to stage the symphony at the Kennedy Center, but he canceled that performance when President Trump ousted the center's leadership and put his name on the building. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the show hosts, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the staff or management of Wave 105.1 FM, Glimpses Media, or our partners. We strive to provide quality, respectful, and engaging content, and we welcome you to participate in the conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Wave 105.1 FM. Enjoy the show.
Graduates of top-level business schools can make a bunch of money, yet some entrepreneurs say it's not worth it. I'm Jeff Colvin of Fortune magazine with the Fortune Business Update. Recent data from the Harvard Business School shows that its graduates, 3 years after graduating, bring in median pay of $260,000, and graduates of other top business schools earn similar amounts. But billionaire Joe Lemont told a podcast last year that young people shouldn't get an MBA. He said there's nothing you're going to get out of there that is a fraction of what you'd get from building your own thing for that same 2 years. Other successful entrepreneurs, including Elon Musk and Peter Thiel, have disdained hiring someone just because they have an MBA. Bottom line, you can do well going down either path, so let your nature tell you which one is best for you. I'm Jeff Colvin.
Teens and sugary drinks might be a more troubling combo than we thought. I'm Cooper Lawrence, health and wellness expert, and this is all well and good. Researchers at Bournemouth University reviewed multiple studies linking diet to mental health in young people. They found a consistent connection between drinking high sugar drinks and anxiety in adolescents. We're talking fizzy drinks, energy drinks, sweet teas, flavored milks, the works. This matters because anxiety is already one of the most reported conditions among young people. An estimated 1 in 5 kids had a diagnosable mental health disorder. Scientists are not sure about the connection, though. It's possible anxiety leads teens to reach for sugary drinks, or that shared factors like poor sleep or family stress drive both. I'm Cooper Lawrence, and this is all well and good.
3:07 in the afternoon. We are KGUM, Wave 105. This is the Brightside. Welcome to the show. Let's bring up the host, Mr. Pauly Suba. Buenas.
We want to thank our sponsors, GTA. We start with you. Subway, eat fresh in just a few clicks. Order online at subwaypacific.com for pickup at your convenience or for delivery right at your doorstep. Micropack, powering your business with cutting-edge tech. Visit Micropack today. Take your business to the next level. And Chili's Grill and Bar at Chili's. More life, great food, and memories happen here.
This version, Brother Jack Larimer.
Okay.
I still love Uncle Johnny. Uncle Johnny just had that groove. Hey, Jack Larimer's, his version's okay too as well.
Tua has like this modern sound to it.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Johnny's son.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if I'm going to compare anybody to Uncle Johnny, I'm going to compare his son Tua.
Oh yeah.
And so he's got that modern sound, and he sounds pretty dang close to his dad.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I remember, because my daughter was going to Mount Carmel, and it was Chamorro week, and they were honoring Mr. Johnny, Uncle Johnny Sablon, and so Matua actually went up on stage and did the song. So both his parents, were just watching him, and then he just started tearing out. I'm like, oh man, this is a touching moment right here.
Yeah.
But Matua did really, really well, and he's sounding just like his dad.
Right?
Yeah.
Very much. He's starting to look like him, too. Okay, so we have this notice from Docomo Pacific circulating. I saw it come through my WhatsApp different chats, right? And so it's affecting customers in Jigo, stating that we are aware of an issue affecting all mobile internet and entertainment services in Jigo due to a fiber break caused by a third party. Our teams are working diligently to resolve this issue as quickly as possible, and we sincerely apologize for the inconvenience. If you need any assistance, here's a number as a public service announcement, 671-688-2273, 688-2273. And so we also got the statement from Public Health, right? It might not be connected, but their phone services have been interrupted as well, right? Mostly for the WIC clinics, whether it's in Lahan or in Tidzin, the WIC offices, right? So they've shared earlier the Tidzin WIC clinic, the Inlahan WIC clinic, the WIC administrative office in Tidzin, and the immunization program office. All their phone lines have been affected due to their phone services being disrupted. They are working with their provider too. So hopefully, they're saying this is a temporary disruption. So if you need some numbers, I have them, the alternate phone numbers for the Tidzin WIC clinic, the Inalahan WIC clinic, the WIC administrative office, and also the immunization program office. Let me see here. Joshua Shank of the National Weather Service provided an outlook for the week, and it states that the heaviest showers and thunderstorms are currently south of Chuk, probably all the stuff that we endured yesterday, right? And it along a near equatorial trough and an embedded circulation. Long-range guidance supports a disturbance developing within the near equatorial trough and shifting towards Palau and Yap around the weekend. Also this weekend, a cold front which was transitioned into a shear line is expected to shift southward towards the Marianas and generate a northerly swell. Together, this pattern will increase showers and thunderstorms around Palau, Yap, and the Marianas, bringing potential for gusty winds, elevated seas, and surf. Chuk will see periods of showers and thunderstorms due to the influence of the net near equatorial trough, with the Marshall Islands also seeing periods of showers to passing trade wind troughs that are expected to move toward Kozrai and Pohnpei over the next few days. For boating and water safety, continuing Landon's weekly reminder of heading out on the waters. Keep boating and water safety in the forefront of your plans. Know weather conditions before heading out and be aware of any hazards you may encounter. Even on a fair weather sunny day, the waves can be large with strong rip currents, pulling the best of swimmers out over the reef. And so that again is the National Weather Service Guam office weekly regional weather outlook. So we were talking about the attacks in the Middle East, right? Israel, Iran, UAE. I saw this statement from Senator Will Parkinson. He attended like a virtual meeting. Let me see here. I thought I highlighted it, but I guess not. Okay, he participates in high-level Council on Foreign Relations briefing on Iran strikes raising strategic concerns for Guam. And so the title was, What Comes Next After the U.S. and Israeli Strikes on Iran? The session convened leading national security scholars to assess the military operation and its broader geopolitical consequences. In the release, it states that during this briefing, one of the experts in the panel, Dr. Cook, assessed that Iran's apparent strategy of pressuring neighboring states may have backfired diplomatically rather than forcing regional governments to push Washington toward negotiations. Another expert, Elliot Abrams, argued that sustained military pressure could significantly degrade Iran's conventional capabilities and expressed skepticism that Tehran could maintain a prolonged closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Another expert emphasized that regime's institutional resilience, noting Iran has contingency structures that could allow the government to function even under severe leadership disruption, though he warned that major losses could spark renewed domestic unrest over time. And another raised constitutional concerns regarding the strikes, questioning the absence of clear congressional authorization while acknowledging the operation could still prove tactically effective. And then another highlighted the global economic dimension, warning that sustained disruption in the Strait of Hormuz would impose serious energy market shocks worldwide. Senator Parkinson used the briefing to focus attention on second-order effects for Guam and the Indo-Pacific. He said, "There's war breaking out all over the world, and this conflict is not happening in a vacuum. For Guam, the question is not just what happens in the Middle East. The question is what this does to the China equation and the American Pacific pivot." He points to historical precedent showing how Middle East operations can ripple into the Indo-Pacific force posture. Iran supplies China with oil. The last time the United States struck Iran, we saw significant drawdown of missile defense munitions and the redeployment of key naval assets. At the same time, China demonstrated its reach in our region. They're also manufacturing these nuclear subs. Because we've got some nuclear subs, and they're like game changers. But they're also building their own fleet of nuclear subs. China is. And they're, definitely paying attention to that. You have the Davidson window, right?
Yeah.
Which is next year, 2027. There were some military members that had a patch that said, Davidson 27. I was like, is that official? They're like, no. I'm like, but it's on their uniform. I'm like, well, they're not really supposed to be putting that on.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So he points out to a documented encounter between U.S. and Chinese naval assets in the Western Pacific as evidence that global conflicts can quickly reverberate into Guam's security environment. According to open source reporting in June of 2025, a U.S. commercial unmanned surface vessel known as the Lightfish encountered a Chinese naval task group in the Philippine Sea during its transit to Japan. The incident occurred approximately 330 miles northwest of Guam, placing it firmly within the operational approaches to the island. Imagery collected by the U.S. vessel showed it operating in proximity to the Chinese Type 55 guided missile destroyer, CNS Nanchang, one of the People's Liberation Army Navy's most advanced surface combatants. The destroyer was part of a larger carrier strike group centered on the Chinese aircraft carrier CNS Liaoning. Senator Parkinson said the episode illustrates why Guam must closely monitor how Middle East conflicts affect Indo-Pacific force posture. And he warns that sustained U.S. focus on the Middle East could create perceived opportunities elsewhere. If the United States becomes bogged down in a prolonged Iran quagmire, we have to ask hard questions about second-order effects. Parkinson said, does extended Middle East engagement dilute Indo-Pacific deterrence? Does it shift risk calculations around Taiwan? China has a strong interest in preventing major oil flows from falling fully under Western leverage. If instability in the Gulf deepens, Beijing's incentives to maneuver diplomatically or strategically will only grow. Senator Parkinson emphasized that Guam residents feel global instability faster than most Americans. He said any disruption involving the Strait of Hormuz ultimately shows up in our power bills. our shipping costs, and the price of food in Guam.
Yeah.
We are one of the most import-dependent jurisdictions in the United States. When global energy and logistics markets tighten, our families feel it immediately. Yeah?
Yeah, well, the Strait of Hormuz is pretty much the highway for all oil vessels to go out, and going out to India, going out to China. I mean, I actually saw the map last night. I was like, whoa, okay. And so that's where all of this is taking place. That's where all the missiles and the planes are flying all over the place. And so to control that, yeah, China's going to be like, okay, guys, you screwed us over with the pipeline, with Russia, because I think they get only like 25% of their oil from Russia. And when you look at China, they depend on the oil, because their economy, I mean, oil makes the world go round, right? And so you get in the way of that. Now, the Chinese are looking like, okay.
Well, we remember what Japan did.
Yeah. And that was all about oil. In World War II. They wanted to, own everything. They didn't want to be dependent upon the United States, who at the time was pretty much the oil. They were like the Saudi Arabia and Iran back in those days.
Right.
Yeah. And so now it does beg the question, once this thing is over with Iran, how is that going to affect? I guess that's why Trump and even Israel is saying, you guys, we're going to get rid of this guy for you, but you guys take care of your own government. So that at least it alleviates China's fears of it being controlled, because even Venezuela, China was receiving oil from them too as well.
Yes.
And now it's like...
It's funny too, because they brought up the question to Marco Rubio, right? It's like, aren't you supposed to check Congress or, notify Congress before you do any of these missions? And he goes, well, all we have to do is the same response. It was like verbatim the same from Venezuela. We notified the 8.
Yeah.
And any president would argue that they need to go further than notifying the top 8 in Congress.
Yeah.
And they knew, and we don't have time to gather all of Congress and tell them our plans.
And then not to mention, this is a mission. This is top secret, right? And so... when you have people that are just totally against Trump, they're looking at everything and anything they can do to make this guy fail or whatever he does.
Well, Marco Rubio is saying Israel was going to attack anyways.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
and so to limit the amount of American casualties or attacks, we knew that Israel attacks, Iran's going to attack. So we needed to get in it.
Well, technically, a war has not been declared.
Right. But they keep talking about war, and they keep talking about this isn't going to end
and the president,
anytime soon, and there will be more casualties.
Yeah. Look at Vietnam. Vietnam was never declared, but we lost.
Well, we know it's a war. We call it a Vietnam War.
We lost 50,000 people.
Yeah.
Right. But a war was never declared, and Congress was never consulted. Right. And so when you look at that, right, George Bush didn't want to make the same mistake. He built a coalition first, whatever coalition that was. No, I'm talking about the George Sr., where he got so many countries involved, right? And the first time we went into Iraq to defend Kuwait, it was like, hey, this is national security, not just for the United States, but for everybody. So, countries like Great Britain, Germany, and all of these, they had this coalition say, okay, we are backing the United States. George Jr. tried to do the same thing, but it was to no avail, because everybody kind of saw the writing on, really? Come on, man. Your dad just, blew Iraq to smithereens. What are you doing, right? But, come to find out, hindsight looking back, it was a really sham conflict, because really they didn't find any weapons of mass destruction or anything, right. And it was basically about oil, controlling it, and well, you see, history will tell you that didn't go pretty well. Now, this thing with Iran now, okay, so what happens? And I think Trump and Marco Rubio sees the writing on the wall. It's like, well, we cannot go in there and occupy. We have to let them do it. We'll clear the way for them and whatever they choose, because this is it's a domino effect. Right. Everybody's going to feel it. Russia's going to feel it, and the two superpowers, be it Russia and also China, and they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So I think they're treading lightly on this, which is good, because to go out there and just say, okay, we're going to take over everything, and we're going to install our own government, and you guys, we'll be the guy to conduct everything, and then until you guys decide what you want. No, right. China is watching this very, very close, and they have a lot to lose if the United States goes in, but. Good thing that Marco Rubio and President Trump are treading lightly on this.
Yeah. Let me see here. In the release from Senator Parkinson, he further states that our Guam-based troops are always among the first to absorb the operational tempo when multiple theaters heat up at once. We owe them and their families disciplined strategy, clear objectives, and full awareness of how decisions in one region ripple into another. He said he will continue engaging national security experts and federal partners to ensure Guam's defense posture, supply chain resilience, and cost of living vulnerabilities remain central to U.S. strategic planning. Guam sits at the crossroads of American power in the Pacific. We must remain vigilant, informed, and prepared for how rapidly the global chessboard is shifting. Somebody's on the line?
No.
Okay.
Call back.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can always... can take this break. There's an article written by General Mike Cruz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, War on the Rocks.
Sounds like a Neil Diamond song. Love on the Rocks.
There's a website.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so the title is The Deluge, the Paper Cup, and Washington's Lack of Urgency in Guam. And so you can find the article in its entirety on War on the Rocks. It's a website news. I'm not sure if it's definitely like a news magazine, but centered around military operations and technology.
Okay.
Yeah. And so General Mike Cruz wrote a article in it, and so we can get to that on the other side of these. And take your phone call, 671-922-1051. This is The Brightside on Wave 105.
Conversations that matter. Community that listens. Wave 105, the talk of Guam. A Glimpse's media radio station.
March 7th is right around the corner, and you know what that means. It's Hagunya City Run and Block Party time. Join Bank of Guam for its annual 5K and Block Party, bringing the community together in the fight against cancer. Run for a cause and stay for the party. For more info and to register, visit bankofguam.com/events. Proceeds to benefit American Cancer Society and Guam Cancer Care. Bank of Guam, the People's Bank. Member FDIC.
Calling all engaged couples and event planners. Join Leo Palace Resort Guam for our first ever bridal and event expo, The Road to I Do. Happening March 21st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Zafiro Ballroom. Explore venue options, financial planning, bridal glam, formal wear, wellness, entertainment services, and more, all in one place. The Road to I Do at Leo Palace Resort Guam. Design your day, define your forever. Special thanks to Power 98, Wave 105, and Route 99.
Mausanya ifinota. Hinasu ginini komisyon ifinot sa moro. Ekungok si Senora Hope Cristobal.
Iparatazzo guha ifino. Parata fanfino sa moro. Zano tana siguro na makompreprendi hit. Zangin iume kungok tigef siguro. Debdi tana kloklaro. Lo mahput na lo lingsa pa ako na tempo todo megay no na problema no ti manali hit con tempo leko na zangin manfino English tasigi manfino sa moro.
Craving Chili's? Let's make life easy. Grab their signature wings, crispy, saucy, and comes with a special treat. Or pick up a Chili's bundle promo, packed with all the Chili's faves. Order exclusively via good-to-go delivery or takeout. At Chili's, great food and value happen here.
Calling all engaged couples and event planners. Join Leo Palace Resort Guam for our first ever bridal and event expo, The Road to I Do. Happening March 21st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Zafiro Ballroom. Explore venue options, financial planning, bridal glam, formal wear, wellness, entertainment services, and more, all in one place. The Road to I Do at Leo Palace Resort Guam. Design your day, define your forever. Special thanks to Power 98, Wave 105, and Route 99.
Level up your fitness routine with Subway's new Fresh Fit collection, built to fuel your day with better-for-you subs. Each new Fresh Fit sub is packed with protein, stacked with a full serving of veggies, all under 500 calories. Given to the guilt-free pleasures of the new Fresh Fit subs only at Subway. Eat fresh, feel good.
Stay sharp, stay curious, stay connected. Wave 105, the talk of Guam. Glimpses Media.
3:30 in the afternoon. Welcome back to the show. This is the Brightside right here on Wave 105, and right about now, it's time for our Real Deal Traffic Report. Our first look at traffic. Standing by, Mr. Pauly Suba.
All right, let's help you out on this Tuesday afternoon, right? 3:32 in the afternoon. Already seeing some congestion near the ITC intersection, and then also seeing congestion between John F. Kennedy High School and St. John's School. Other than that, not too many difficulties on Route 1 in the Tamuning area, and I don't see any at all in Hagåtña. Route 4 is looking good for you as you travel through Talampago and back towards Route 10 into Mangilao. Your Real Deal Traffic Report here on Wave 105. Brought to you by Mobile Oil Guam. Go farther on every journey with Mobile Synergy Supreme Plus Fuel, keeping your engine 3 times cleaner for better gas mileage. You can visit guam.mobile.com for details. Guam Auto Spot, schedule that test drive today at Guam Auto Spot. Call them up, 478 Auto. View their inventory on their website at guamautospot.com.
Dandan ginin lantun bubulaw Bola siya gagagwi Kwa kajan karabo Mambuni tunagaga Totutan binodu Urai bakeru Miskakan sa guritan sadu.
3:33 in the afternoon. Welcome back. This is the Brightside. Standing by, the man of the hour, the host of the show, Mr. Pauly Suba.
All right, welcome back. Hold on, because I'm trying not to. I don't want us to get taken out of YouTube. But General Mike Cruz, right? He starts out his article by referencing a Crowded House song, Don't Dream It's Over.
Okay.
I really like it. I love this song.
Nice.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to lower it back because I don't want to get kicked out.
Yeah.
But he references the song Don't Dream It's Over, and there's the lyrics that say, trying to catch a delusion, a paper cup. Mm-hmm. That's like basically all the rain that we saw yesterday.
Yeah.
Trying to catch all that rain in the paper cup.
True.
Is kind of what is his illustration. And so he says, for Guam, a U.S. territory and cornerstone of American power projection, increasingly under threat from both North Korea and China, that metaphor appears increasingly and disturbingly apt. Among U.S. defense planners and senior policymakers, the commitment to defend the central node in the Second Island chain is well understood and rarely questioned. By contrast, Guam remains poorly understood by much of the American public, including the basic fact that it is a U.S. territory whose 160,000 residents are American citizens. This disconnect is reinforced by a structural reality many readers may not fully appreciate. He says circumstances that often result in territorial issues receiving less sustained national attention. When political visibility is limited, strategic urgency can be harder to sustain. I have to agree too, because it's this out of sight, out of mind.
Oh gosh!
Right? Where is Guam? There's the
What's
priority
Guam? Can
of
you eat it?
protecting Guam isn't really there. It's almost like you guys handle it.
I was back staying in Washington State, and this Caucasian gentleman of Caucasian descent, and I were talking, and he was like, "Hey, you're not from here, huh? Where are you at? Where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm from Guam." He's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we own Guam." Yeah, I'm like, "We own? Okay, yeah. Come back to Zotnia and tell me that."
Right. But I mean, just the tone that he sets, I have to agree. I mean, the threats are massive and growing, hence deluge. But America's current response feels too small or too slow. And so he talks about the military facilities that are here, right? Anderson Air Force Base, Naval Base Guam, Camp Blas. If a war breaks out between the United States and China, Guam would likely be attacked early. And we know this. I mean, when they do the war games,
oh yeah,
Guam always gets attacked.
Don't they have like a missile?
Always.
Don't they have like a missile called the Guam
The
Killer?
Guam Killer.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Pacific Center for Island Security, that the chairman is Dr. Robert Underwood. He has made this statement every time there are war games and they simulate like tabletop, exercises. Guam always gets attacked. So he explains the growing threat, right? Guam faces serious and increasing threats from China's expanding long-range missile capabilities and North Korea's missile program. In 2017, during rising tensions, Kim Jong-un publicly threatened to strike Guam with enveloping fire. As a result, Guam Homeland Security Office issued a 2-page guide on surviving a nuclear attack. I've seen this. It's not comprehensive. It's pretty much good luck. I don't think that it has been updated since.
No, it hasn't.
I've been asking Guam Homeland Security and Civil Defense, are there any updates? They're coming.
Oh,
we
how's about this?
haven't seen it.
I was at the legislature during this time, right, of North Korea threats, and I took an oath that I was not going to be, because I was there, and so the people in the legislature needed to kind of like sign a non-disclosure, right? But I can tell you this. I really didn't like what was said, like when one of the senators asked, "So what is the game plan here?" And the officials from like Homeland Security, everywhere, right, from the front office, that were saying, well, in time of attack, just look for a building.
Yes, that's in the plan.
That's in the plan. I'm like, geez.
The plan
really?
is that commercial building, and also there's supposed to be some kind of training that happens and exercise within the civilian population.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be practicing.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be doing some drills.
Oh, yeah.
We're supposed to be in the city of like Hagåtña and Tamuning. We're supposed to go through some of these drills. People are supposed to be able to get out of their car and run towards in a safe manner, expeditiously, not necessarily run, but power walk into a civilian building. And at a certain time, they're going to close it up. But there's supposed to be like a person at the front door to assist people to come in.
Well, they don't even. The only bomb shelter that I know is the court, the old court, with that old sign that says a fallout
Academy.
shelter. Yeah.
The other one, there's also that same sign over at Public Health Central Office.
Okay. Yeah,
but,
because it was
that's
built
condemned.
in the 60s. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. But we're not doing any of those exercises.
Of course not.
And when you look at the plan, it also talks about how teachers are fully capable. They've already went through the training. They know what to do in case these alarms go off during school hours.
Yeah, which
I don't know.
alarm? The sirens that don't work?
I didn't ask all the teachers, but I asked enough teachers.
Those emergency
I even
sirens?
asked Superintendent Eric Swanson, what training is happening? You guys do the drills?
Mm-hmm.
You do the person that comes into the school.
Oh, yeah.
Shooter,
Active
right?
shooter?
Active shooter drills.
Yeah.
They do that. That's common. That's a common.
They do the
exercise.
tsunami, and then of course the Great Shakeout, right?
They do the earthquake.
Yeah.
But I mean, this stuff's pretty serious.
Yeah.
And so if you're doing active shooter drills, that's serious stuff. You need to normalize also all the other threats, man-made threats. Active shooter is a man-made threat. So is an incoming missile.
Yeah.
And I'm not here to doom and gloom anybody, but this is the reality that we live in. Senator Will Parkinson, spot on. General Mike Cruz is spot on. This is our reality.
It is.
Dr. Underwood has stated this for years now, since the inception of Pacific Center for Island Security. I mean, it's in the name.
Yeah. And then,
So-
it goes back to what you were saying. I mean,
We need to prepare
Yeah.
the citizens. It needs to just be normal. We should not be scared of this. If our own government has stated on the record in the last tabletop exercise that our shelters are our concrete buildings. Okay, fine then. Keep putting that narrative out and let's exercise. Let's drill. Drill, baby, drill. Let's do that.
No, the World War I started because of a assassination of a I believe a noble, probably a prince or a king, right? And then World War I started.
But this is not even new too, because my mom and dad were talking about they were drilling as children.
Yes, during the Cuba Missile Crisis. This was in the 60s.
So it's not like we don't have a generation of people that have never done this before.
Yeah. And so it goes back to, you just read something. I'm not too sure if it was Dr. Mike or General Mike Cruz, where he said that Guam is pretty much a target and simulating, and when it comes to war games, Guam is always attacked. If you look at the history of the United States, what triggered the Spanish-American War? It was a boat that exploded. And it wasn't even the Spanish that did it. They did some more research, and the boat blew up. But in other words,
Like it was a mechanical error or something?
something like that, or a munitions thing. But the United States used it as a reason to go after the Spanish,
Yeah.
and that of course turned into the Spanish-American War.
Right.
And then if you look at how they had a mass exodus because they knew that the Japanese were coming here on Guam, and all of them left, and there was just a few of them. They left the Marines, and they even left some guns, but it wasn't, try taking on a whole wave of Japanese. So
I don't even know if those guns were even effective.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. And
were
so
they even working, or were they training?
Now,
they were like training guns.
I'm an optimist, and I would like to think that the United States would not leave Guam. But history have told you that the wars have started.
Well, the infrastructure is a lot bigger this time
Bigger,
around.
yeah, and a
and
lot of
they
it's
have
invested.
said, I mean, to be fair, on the record, Admirals Paparo has even said, "This is the homeland.
Yeah,
we will defend."
Exactly, and
so I mean that's what's on the record.
Yeah, I'm just I'm like, so even though the admiral said that, we already know that they don't need justification to go into Iran and just I mean, they say it's national security, right? But what has to happen in our region for them?
But
to
China
say,
could easily say this is in retaliation of.
Yeah.
You're threatening us. You're threatening our livelihood and our economy.
Exactly.
So this is retaliation. Mike Cruz is saying that the threat is not theoretical. It is real and
It
immediate.
is real, yeah. I mean,
and this is our former lieutenant governor, the former adjutant general, a general in the National Guard.
Yeah.
That is saying this.
And if anybody's qualified to say something like that, it would be him. Yeah. And so, yeah, I just, like I said, I hope that, the buildup, the moment, you see, and that's what a lot of people were concerned about, right, was with this buildup comes the notion that we're the tip of the spear, and now that phrase right there was meaning we're forward movement. You're right. We're not at a defensive posture.
He's also saying the reason why we're not getting a lot of attention is because we just don't have representation in Congress. And I mean, we have a non-voting representative.
No, but Jimmy,
and then we don't have a senator in the Senate.
To credit Congressman James Moylan, he's the only elected official to come out that I know of, that I've seen so far, say something about
Iran?
Iran.
I missed it.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, no, he came out stating that he's watching it closely, and he's working with
Is he for or against it?
Well, he's going to be for it. I mean, he's a Republican, so
I mean, we can question it.
Yeah.
You can be concerned about it. You can be Republican all you want.
Yeah, no, I think
you serve the people of Guam.
Yeah.
So the concern is the safety and well-being of the people of Guam and those that serve under the flag that come from here.
Well, he did come out. He's the only elected official that I read so far that came out stating anything about the Iran war. I haven't heard anything
because we don't vote for president. We vote for congressman.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is important to know exactly where do you stand on this.
Yes, I agree. And I all I read was just that he's in communications with the powers that be, and he's being updated and all that. But where he stands on whether he's in favor of it, rest assured, I'm pretty sure he's going to support anything that is.
I think also because our office is really the office that we can go to, that now there's some real work. There's some long hours in that office, and I know that they're up for the challenge. There's some very talented people that work there, but I hope what does not happen is when people start to call the office. I understand that you can't share classified information, and maybe you don't even have the information. However, there are people that are being deployed all over the world, in the Middle East, relatives.
As a matter of fact, there are some people from the island that are, that I remember when USS Abraham came over here, they had some people from Guam in there.
And so I would be getting in touch with their command. I would start sending letters or emails and saying, we are here for you. And we want to start sending messages from your family, from the island, from the leaders here, and making sure that there is open lines of communication. So that way, in case of anything, we are going to let your family, let your friends, let the people that care about you
I agree.
know your well-being the instant it happens.
Yeah, we got your back.
Yeah. So you're serving your country.
That's a good idea.
And you're serving this island. We are here for you.
Okay. So
and I would already, I would have made those. Who is deployed?
Yeah.
We need to know their names.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't know
where they're at,
what they're
doing.
And I don't, but Congressman Jim Moylan and his office should know.
Yeah, he's privy to that information.
They should all be on the board. It should be, there should be a whiteboard.
Yeah.
There should be like a contact. Who's his mother? Who's her father?
Yeah.
Who are their children? Where is their jurisdiction? Are they from here? Maybe they were from Hoggett, but now they're living in Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia,
but
San Diego.
you and your office are the experts of every single military member that is serving from Guam
and
that are Guamanian.
And they'll be more open to Congressman James because he sits on the Armed Forces Committee.
And I know that that's hard work, but I think it can be done, and I think that's pretty impressive. I think if there's any kind of work that needs to be done, it's that.
Oh no, I'm almost certain that his office is equal up for the task if something came about such as that.
I'm now, and I'm not even saying like a day from now. I'm saying within the hour.
Yeah.
Like you're getting the message. You're getting the information to their loved ones.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to wait for a tragedy.
Yeah.
You can already make the connection. You can already write the email and saying, this is your congressman and this is your office showing support to you. Thank you for serving and being there. And we're praying for you and we are here to support you.
Yeah. And your families.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
So back to the letter, right, or the article. Again, I would go check it out and you can read it in its entirety. It's on warontherocks.com.
I don't have to pay like a 50
no,
cents, $2 deal?
I was waiting for a subscription. I was waiting for a subscription window to come up and block me and said, hey, we are independent journalists and whatnot. And, you know, if you want to continue to read this. But you can become a member.
Okay.
It says, join War on the Rocks and gain access to content trusted by policymakers, military leaders, and strategic thinkers worldwide. I actually love following these kinds of sites, right? Because you'll have generals write articles. They'll give you some wisdom, or they'll give you some insight on maybe not what is current, but what was happening or could be happening, and they also give their opinion on the direction that we are going.
Yeah.
So again, he shares the reason why that we're just, we don't have representation. And so we are also American citizens, but the American citizens in the continental U.S., they're not, we're so far out here. This is the Western frontier, and we have people that are doing very important work in the military right here. And sometimes that's just not that. A lot of times that's not top of mind for them, right? When you look at even the amount of people that serve, we beat out every state.
Yeah.
Every state, maybe Alaska, but every state per capita, So you don't see military members or veterans as much. Like, you just walk into a store here, you're going to run into a veteran. Guaranteed.
Or somebody related to one. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's, unless you're like in Killeen or somewhere near.
Oh, you mean the second Guam?
Yeah. Unless you're very close to a base.
Yeah.
Just, you'd be in LA and it's not even a concern.
Yeah.
Military, veterans, that's not. It's about Hollywood. It's about Disneyland. But if you're not close to a base, it's not even part of anybody's conversation. Quality of life, crime, that's basic stuff. But here in Guam, we have to talk about military. We have to talk about the services that are being provided, and sometimes we also have to talk about the impacts, the negative impacts of the militarization here. What it's doing to our economy, to those that are not in the military, how the housing market. Like, these are things that we are affected. What else does he?
I think in general, we play a role, and I hope, they always say that Guam plays a significant and important role within the whole scheme of things of national security and all that good stuff, right?
Right.
And so far, the military buildup, it is showing that there is importance. However, because the buildup and everything, it's also it's also putting that big target on us,
Mhm.
and that's what we got to
Yeah.
be very mindful. And that is basically what Dr. Underwood, Senator Will, and even General Cruz is
He's saying, yep,
Yeah.
exactly, because he reminds the readers that Guam has already experienced occupation during World War II.
The only place
After
mind you,
Pearl
yeah.
Harbor,
Mhm.
right? Imperial Japanese forces seized Guam. The island was occupied for over 2 years. It was liberated in 1944 at a significant cost. During the occupation, residents endured executions, beheadings, rape, forced labor, imprisonment, starvation, torture.
I hope it doesn't take 2.5 years to come back.
Cruz shares that members of his own family were in prison and forced to witness executions.
Yeah.
You know, when you see all of those things, you're like, war reparations, we had to pay ourselves with the Section 30 funds, and nobody became millionaires over it. But these were difficult stories that they had to share again to get what, a couple $1,000s. And so he acknowledges the U.S. has increased defense investment in Guam in recent years, but he warns that the pace of Chinese missile development is advancing faster than Guam's defensive upgrades, and the U.S. response lacks urgency compared to the speed of the threat. And this is why he uses that metaphor, that the deluge or the amount of water that came down yesterday, and one person is trying to catch all of that water in a paper cup. That's just an impossible task. And so, again, he underlines that Guam is critical to U.S. military strategy in the Indo-Pacific. China and North Korea see it as a prime target. War simulations show Guam would likely be attacked first. Guam's political status limits national attention. The general is making connections to our political status. Defense investments are happening, but not fast enough. And for Guam residents, the risk feels existential because history proves occupation is possible. And so he warns, if deterrence fails because the U.S. does not act urgently enough, Guam would bear the first and heaviest cost. And that's an article that General Mike Cruz, former lieutenant governor, wrote just yesterday. Wow. It was published yesterday on the War on the Rocks website. And so, again, this is not about doom and gloom. This is just about the realities. And, and the burden that we, American citizens, the people of Guam, are bearing. National security depends on this island, and the U.S. is not doing enough to protect us, or so it seems.
And we're still treated
and
like second-class citizens.
Perception is everything.
That's what I'm saying. They always tout the great strategic importance, and if we're that important, they're not looking at us as people. They're looking at us
as a place.
As a place.
As a place to protect.
As a non-movable aircraft
and
carrier.
So I don't want to be in President Trump's speech saying there will be casualties, and that's just part of.
And that's what I'm saying. The justification.
I don't want
of
we are not. We are not just collateral damage.
Yeah.
We are a people. We are a civilization.
I mean, how far would it go, right, to actually get into a conflict with China and North Korea, right? They need justification for that, and so my it goes back to that ship that started the Spanish-American War. They used that as a reason to go to war with a country, and then of course, what was the justification for going to war with Japan? Pearl Harbor. And so now it comes back down to...
And we had there's now evidence that proves that we had the intelligence.
Exactly, and they let it go, right? Then hindsight looking,
Well, they knew there was the intelligence. We know for sure because they evacuated Guam. Why did they evacuate Guam? Because they knew Japan was coming.
Exactly, and so now when you look at it, we already know they're using us in their war games. We're the first to be attacked. So would Guam be justification for the United States to let loose? I mean, you already know Trump is he's gung-ho, man.
I don't want it to get like that's not even why I'm even wanting to have the conversation. It's just this is an article that came out. We read Senator Will Parkinson's statements as well. Mm-hmm. This is what is happening, and I'm blessed to be living here.
Yeah,
my dad and my family come home. We had a nice dinner, welcoming them back home, and they said, "I'm so happy to be home."
Yeah,
this feels like home. This is home. As much as they had fun back there, as much as they were able to do what they were able to travel and get some medical care, the whole time they were just thinking about coming back home. 4:01 in the afternoon. We'll take the break. KGUM-FM in Dededo, Guam.
Pick up package at the post office? Check. Drop off dry cleaning? Check. Gas up? Check. Pick up online order at Subway? Check. You value your time and efficiency. So when you order at SubwayPacific.com, Subway makes sure your sub, salad, or wrap is ready for you. With just a few taps on your phone on SubwayPacific.com, your food will be ready to pick up at your convenience or delivered via Good to Go. Either way, when you order online at SubwayPacific.com, you can do your thing while Subway gets your meal fresh and ready for you. At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh.
Calling all engaged couples and event planners. Join Leo Palace Resort Guam for our first ever bridal and event expo, The Road to I Do. Happening March 21st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Zafiro Ballroom. Explore venue options, financial planning, bridal glam, formal wear, wellness, entertainment services, and more, all in one place. The Road to I Do at Leo Palace Resort Guam. Design your day, define your forever. Special thanks to Power 98, Wave 105, and Route 99.
KGUM-FM, Dededo, the talk of Guam. This is Wave 105.1 FM, a Glimpses media radio station.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
Christopher Cruz in Washington. Members of Congress are reacting along party lines after hearing from the Trump administration about the attack on Iran. CBS News correspondent Cammie McCormick has that.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio briefed the Gang of Eight. Very different reviews from House Speaker Mike Johnson.
To have an evil, murderous regime removed, it is a great thing and a great time in history, and we're proud to be a part of it.
Democratic Senator Mark Warner.
Obviously, I've got a slightly different take. There was no imminent threat to the United States of America by the Iranians.
But Rubio and President Trump have warned the fiercest bombing hasn't even begun.
And U.S. Central Command said tonight Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps command and control facilities, Iranian air defense capabilities, missile and drone sites, and military airfields have been destroyed during what it called sustained operations. President Trump says the attacks on Iran could last 4 or 5 weeks or longer. From Tel Aviv, CBS's Charlie D'Agata says the Secretary of Defense isn't talking about how this all ends.
So Secretary Hegseth gave no indication of an exit plan and did not rule out putting U.S. troops boots on the ground. But there are also questions about how long the U.S. can sustain this assault, and there is not an endless supply of munitions.
CBS News contributor and Marine veteran and CIA officer Elliot Ackerman says it may be a long time before the fighting is over and the dust settles.
We are toppling a regime in a region that is extremely complex. Iran is the second largest country in the Middle East. And I just am very skeptical that this isn't going to get very, very messy and that it's not going to be over for quite some time.
Gas prices are already rising, as they usually do ahead of spring, but will they rise higher than usual because of the attacks on Iran? Politico oil and gas reporter James Bikolas.
In general, we've seen some reports already of prices going up, especially for wholesale diesel. And so we're going to be continuing to watch over the next couple days to see if that translates into a significant increase for American consumers.
A new study finds Antarctica is losing huge amounts of ice. Here's CBS's Dave Melkoff.
77% of the coastline has seen no movement since 1996. But as researchers at UC Irvine zoomed in on West Antarctica and the Antarctic Peninsula, the satellite showed a loss of nearly 5,000 square miles. That's a chunk of ice larger than Jamaica.
This is CBS News.
The stars shine brighter on CBS Morning.
This is a slam dunk.
So cute. Gail came in singing for me today.
On CBS Mornings.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
There's been a dramatic rescue in the skies of East Texas.
Fire officials in Longview, Texas say 2 people were trapped after their hot air balloon collided with a cell tower, leaving them dangling in the basket as it swung back and forth in the wind more than 900 feet up. First responders scaled the tower to reach them. Both were conscious and uninjured. It took crews 4 hours to lower them, little by little, to the ground. The rainbow-colored balloon was left hanging from the tower in tatters. A local construction company says the priority now is lowering that basket, which has a propane tank inside. They'll be bringing the balloon down piece by piece. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
The Democratic National Committee has narrowed to 5 the number of cities in contention for its 2028 convention, which will be held in August 2028. Atlanta, Boston, Chicago, Denver, and Philadelphia are all in the running. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the show hosts, guests, and callers, and do not necessarily reflect the views of the staff or management of Wave 105.1 FM, Glimpses Media, or our partners. We strive to provide quality, respectful, and engaging content, and we welcome you to participate in the conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Wave 105.1 FM. Enjoy the show.
If you bought your home within the past few years, it might be time to start thinking about refinancing. This is Ted Rossman with the Bankrate Personal Finance Minute. The average 30-year fixed mortgage rate has fallen to around 6%, the lowest it has been since September of 2022. In late 2023, the average briefly eclipsed 8% for the first time in decades. Many people who bought in the past 3 years have a rate in the 7s or perhaps the upper 6s. When mortgage rates fall by a half point or more, it's worth looking into refinancing. Some homeowners might even be able to trim a point or two off their existing rates, given recent market developments. And don't settle for average. While the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate is around 6%, Bankrate currently lists some rates in the low to mid-5s for qualified borrowers. How much you can save depends on various factors like your credit score and how much you're borrowing. You could save several $100s per month if, for example, you can bring your rate down from 7% to 5.5%. For more, check out Bankrate.com. I'm Ted Rossman.
We're in an interesting place when it comes to electric vehicles. This is Jeff Gilbert with the Car Chronicles. After several years of growth, there's been a bit of a contraction with the loss of the EV tax credits, the loss of government support, and some car makers scaling back their plans. Some are even calling this an EV winter.
For me, I actually like this term, EV winter. Last time I checked, after each winter, there's a spring.
As interim CEO of EV startup Lucid, an EV spring would be important to Mark Winterhoff. He thinks electric vehicles can hold their own in head-to-head competition with gasoline-powered cars and trucks.
Just focus on the specs and facts, that what you get. That's what we need to do as an EV industry to overcome the current EV winter.
Lucid, with 2 models, now has 3 more coming over the next few years and plans to add new self-driving features. With the Car Chronicles, I'm Jeff Gilbert, CBS News.
From breaking news to bright ideas, Wave 105 is where Guam speaks.
It's 4:09 in the afternoon. And this is Wave 105 right here in KGUM. It is the bright side with this gentleman right here. He's going to let you know where to go and where not to go while you're on the roads. It's Mr. Pauly Suba.
All right, let's break out our Glimpses Radio traffic app here. I'm seeing the same amount of congestion in the same familiar places, right? Right around John F. Kennedy High School, Route 1. Even going to Harmon Industrial Park, getting in and out around that area. It's 409. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, no, the Simon Sanchez High School gets at around 540. But I wonder what's back there. Everybody's trying to get back there right now. And usually it's congested coming out around 5. You know, all the mechanics and everybody that works in Harmon Industrial Park, right?
Yeah.
They only have a few outlets to get back out to Marine Corps Drive, right? And so it does become extremely congested coming out, but I'm trying to understand at this point.
They still have some standing water from yesterday?
Right, maybe. But there are some delays there.
Okay.
I'm also seeing delays coming down Airport Road into Route 1.
Okay.
And so you've got, that's not uncommon around this time. We do see quite a few cars get stuck at the intersection, the mobile airport intersection, trying to get out, either making a left or a right onto Route 1. Other than that, just mild congestion in and around the major intersections off of Route 1. Your Real Deal Traffic Report here on Wave 105, brought to you by Guam Auto Spot. Schedule that test drive today at Guam Auto Spot by calling 478-AUTO. View their inventory on their website at guamautospot.com. There's that number again, 478-AUTO. You also have Mobile Oil Guam. Go farther on every journey with the Mobile Synergy Supreme Plus fuel, keeping your engine 3 times cleaner for better gas mileage. Visit guam.mobile.com for details. I want to thank our sponsors of the Bright Side. It's Chili's Grill and Bar. At Chili's, more life, great food, and memories happen here. Micropack, powering your business with cutting-edge tech. Don't forget to visit Micropack today at the Micronesia Mall or in Tuning on Challen, San Antonio. Take your business to the next level. Subway, eat fresh. In just a few clicks, order online at subwaypacific.com. And GTA, we start with you. Biba Matis, it's Tuesday.
Welcome back to the show. 4:12 in the afternoon. The Bright Side. Here's the number, 671-922-1051 or 1052. Give him a call. He's Mr. Pauly Suba. Buenas.
All right, so we do have that update from Public Health, right?
Okay.
So their phone lines have been restored at all the affected locations, right? So Teason, WIC Clinic, Inalahan, WIC Clinic, WIC Administrative Office in Teason, and the Immunization Program Office. All their phone lines are back in order. And so you can give them a call, especially if you need assistance from these offices. The release further states that Public Health thanks the community for its patience during the temporary disruption and appreciates the prompt efforts taken to restore full service. There's another release that came out. Let me see here, from Public Health. And it talks about the director, Teresa Areola, in D.C.
Nice.
Yes. So the director is in D.C. this week to advocate for Guam's public health priorities during federal meetings with congressional leaders and national public health partners.
Yeah. You know, with all the strategic importance talk about Guam and everything, we should be giving everything that we want.
Yeah.
And that, you know, man, from healthcare to, you know, education, you know, to infrastructure. I mean, we should be.
Oh, but people say, "Oh, you want, you know, you can't thrive without the federal handouts." I'm like,
"Oh, well, no, there's no
it's
handout.
not a handout.
They look at us as important, then they better treat us as such.
A third of the island is occupied.
Yeah,
military installations.
I mean, gosh, in my conversation when I was staying out in Washington, the gentleman I was talking to said, "Oh yeah, we own you guys." Okay, yeah.
Well, I mean, by definition, a colony is a possession.
Yeah.
And we are, by definition, a colony of the United States of America.
That still didn't negate the fact that I just wanted to give him a knuckle sandwich.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because you don't own me.
Give him some Killigrew knuckles, right?
What it does to anybody's mental stability, right? To be thought of as property.
Yeah.
That doesn't bode well, right? And so even General Mike Cruz points out in his article that a lot of our issues are tied to our political status, being a colony, being an unincorporated territory.
And you know what hurts?
There are some benefits, but there's not a lot, and they don't weigh out. Who benefits? Clearly, the United States of America has taken full advantage. Full advantage.
Yeah. And you know what hurts is the fact that even our own people, I mean, we're already getting this unfair treatment, right, of political status and whatnot, right? And to a certain extent, hey, I am glad that the United States is here. I am proud to be a part of the United States, although not fully, but I'm still proud, right? But at the same time, I'm also proud that that I'm from this island too. And what's sad is that we get somewhat of an unfair treatment from the feds, right, with the land and everything else. What really sucks is that we're getting an unfair treatment from our own government too as well. And with the Chamorro Land Trust and not being lining up at 1995 and still waiting 30 some odd years later, to even be given land. And then I mean,
do you think it's priorities?
Well,
because look, Palau has prioritized the automated system when it comes to fees, port fees, right?
Yeah.
And we're not there yet. We're still documenting everything on paper.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with priorities because there's just so many internal problems, from education to healthcare. I mean, look at what just came out from yesterday's news about the $70 million that we're just going to chalk it up. Yeah, they're just going to chalk it up as a loss. $70 million from GMH. They can't collect.
Well, they're going to collect from taxpayers.
Well, so my question is,
because the debts of the Memorial Hospital get paid by taxpayers.
Taxpayers, and so when you look at it, we have the most idiotic things that we call a public hearing on an oversight hearing for the most stupidest things. I mean, forgive my French, but yeah, I mean, and we're like, gosh, we're wasting time and money talking about this. And this came out yesterday, and I haven't heard anybody say, oh, we need an oversight on GMH, because look at what happened with the property tax. We still haven't even gotten the bills for that.
Right.
We
have plenty things to pay for, but
exactly.
we're not.
So what is that? Revenue tax is going to chalk it up as a loss too because they can't collect or because their system? So where is the Committee on Health? Why is she not calling a oversight to find out what's going on? The legislature in the past has given GMH all the resources. You guys want us to give you garnishment powers, for their tax? We'll give that to you. Okay, you guys want how do we do this? How do we collect? They gave them everything, but still they chalk up a loss of $70 million for the past 26 years. And so whose fault is that?
If you've been hiding from the government
for 26
years,
what are you doing? Where can I find you? Because I like to hide from the IRS. I didn't hide when my daughter was born. I paid my my insurance, and then I paid my contributions. I think it was like $10,000. And it's mind-boggling how nobody's saying anything about this, and everybody's talking about a new hospital. We can't even run the one that we got right now. Come on, man.
That's the conversation that comes up in the oversight hearings. What good is a new hospital if we don't fix the system.
Exactly.
The public hospital will just stay in debt. We'll just continue to be in debt.
Yeah, and that's as a matter of fact, that's what Dr. Mike Cruz said, or General Cruz. Before he's like, hey, we're why reinvent the wheel? Even if we build a new hospital, the system is still the same.
Yes.
And so
Dr. Eusebio said the same thing.
And so it's mind-boggling that nothing is being said about this. I haven't heard any response from the legislature or even from Adelup about how we lost $70 million.
Oh, because they weren't paying their bill. They weren't paying their health bills, right? I mean,
okay.
So when I just think of
even with the garnishment powers, nothing was being paid.
I know.
Come
on. If they were to publicize those that are in arrears, there's, we're probably going to find multiple people that we know, right, on this list. Is that what it's going to take? I mean, because garnishing people's tax returns isn't working.
And then you got to look at the insurance companies, right? I mean, okay, did these guys? I mean, but again, the insurance companies, they came out stating, well, until we get a correct billing, until we get a correct billing, that's when we'll make our payments. But right now, no, it ain't happening. So again, we've given GMH the resources. So Senator Sabrina Salas-Mantanani is the oversight chair for the health.
I didn't realize that after 90 days, collection chances drop. I thought there was like at least 5 years.
Yeah.
Right. I understand that the longer it takes to collect, but I didn't know the collections drops tremendously after 3 months.
3 months. Okay, so if that's the case, if that's the problem, well, Senator Sabrina Salas, get on it and put it a year. Make it a year.
Make it a year.
Do something. $70 million is not a drop in the bucket.
No.
And something needs to happen, because I could care less what new hospital we have. If we still have the same system, it's still going to be broken.
Yeah, because after 1 year, the odds become very low, according to the board hearing, right? Self-paying billing after insurance, payroll deductions. These are their collection efforts. Payment plans, social service cases, garnishments through the Department of Revenue and Taxation. And also they use collection agencies too. However, the debt is at $70 million that I wouldn't even say is the total debt. Mm-hmm. It's what they've written off.
Man,
they've written off 70 because they're like that. We're not collecting this. A lot of this goes back to 26
I
years.
want to go to every creditor that I know that is coming after me and saying, hey guys, you only got like 3 months. And after that, can you just write it off? Because man, I don't have money. I mean, normally when this happens at a private business, when they start writing off stuff that they can't collect, guess what? 3-4 months from then, from that point, they're going to close down. They can't make money.
But this public hospital cannot close down.
Of course not.
Right?
Which is mind-boggling why nobody's calling an oversight. I mean, come on, it's election year.
It cannot
start shining.
It just cannot. Like I've listened to the oversight hearings. Even the former CEO, retired CEO, right, is saying, "Listen, we cannot turn people away."
Of course,
right?
Yeah.
And
the
so there is always going to be this debt.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think at this point, well, I don't know, because I've heard the conversations. I was listening to the board. It's not that they aren't implementing all of these it's not like they're not trying to address it. It's not like they're not going after people. But how do you squeeze $1 out of 15 cents? How do you, once they've left, you can't collect limbs.
Of course.
You can't collect their firstborn. And so that's the part. I mean, when we think about where people are at, their state of their well-being, there's so many people in poverty here, right?
Well, I mean, look at what they're doing with the SNAP benefits. If you're able-bodied and you can work, you're not just going to get it for free.
Right.
Right. So when it comes to handling this situation, you gotta be very creative. Now, we know that people, if they're going to be on SNAP, okay, great. Guess what? If they can't afford it, they're living off something. And if they're on SNAP, then tie it into that.
Right.
Get the AG involved and see what legally they can do.
Well, it's tough too because just the cost of living on the island is out of control, right? Rent is high.
Yeah.
Again, militarization, a lot of rent. It mirrors or gets really close to OHA, right? The minimum OHA. And so what do you pay? Do I pay my not the in its entirety because maybe I'm on a payment plan. Do I pay my health bill this month or do I keep the lights on for my children? And the reality for these families are I got to keep the lights on for my children.
Yeah.
So I don't pay this.
Well, okay.
And then 3 months turn into 1 year, turns into 27 years.
Yeah, and I think look at the insurance companies. Why aren't they being charged because of some mess up in the system and everything? Well, this is what the oversight is supposed to do. Find out what's going on. Out of the 70 million, who cannot afford it? Okay, let's not talk about that just yet. Who can afford it? Okay, these people, this amount. Okay, how come we didn't get that amount? Because even $1 million out of a 70 million is still $1 million.
We need to get people on the Medicare rolls too.
Yeah, I mean, and then
we really need to.
Yeah,
Medicaid is for Manumco, or Medicare.
Medicare is for Manumco,
Okay.
and then Medicaid is local, I believe.
Okay. Okay, so the Medicare, we really need to make sure that we are getting all of that.
The TEFRA deal.
All of it.
I think it has to be rule and about how many beds in a hospital. Okay, if that's the case, then Congressman James Moylan is talking about adding on or changing the Organic Act. Well, he's on a roll. Go in there.
I also think Speaker Frank Boss is onto something as far as urgent care with the public clinics.
Yes.
Right? I mean, we got to see part of addressing healthcare is having multiple public clinics. We had 3. We're down to 2.
All I've been seeing from the legislature is tours going up to GMH. How many tours do you have to go through to find out that there's problems up at GMH?
Yeah. Well, people
don't
are
know.
going to the ER for fever.
Yeah. No, these are tours that are coming from the legislature.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, but what people are going to the ER on the weekend, right, for fevers.
Yeah.
A clinic is not open or whatnot, so they got to go up there, and that costs.
Yes.
That costs money, right? And so if we had these public clinics that were open even on the weekend, at least on a Saturday, I think that can also help out as well.
Yeah.
Somebody's on the line?
Yes.
Off at 8, Wave 105, you're on the air.
Off a day, Pauly.
Attorney Pete.
How was your weekend? Did you stay dry?
I did. Very busy. Very busy. I did not go to Homatech because I would have not been dry.
Right.
Yeah.
That rain that, over the weekend.
Yeah. It affected
I decided to not go down,
it
unfortunately.
Affected the fairgrounds, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, a couple of points I wanted to make.
Yes,
First
please.
of all, just like Ryan, when our baby was born, we got a bill from GMH. And so it was kind of weird because it was like almost 3 years later. And it was, we had paid our copay and everything, and the bill, something just didn't seem right. So I luckily dug deeper because it was actually the insurance company that let me know that there's an unpaid bill at GMH. And so come to find out, they had sent the insurance company the bill. The insurance company sent it back saying you need to make some corrections. You have 90 days to do it, or else the claim is expired. It's invalid. You can't even make a claim. right?
Okay, I'm following.
And so GMH missed their deadline to make the claim, and so now they were trying to get us to pay for it when we had already paid our copay 50% or whatever it was. And so I went over to GMH and I said, hey, the insurance company tells me that, and they sent me the copies of the emails that they sent this to you guys, and you guys sat on it. And so I refused to pay this. And so he went upstairs and he comes back and he says, yes, we're at fault. We are behind and we sat on it. And so now we're going to absolve you of all debt.
Oh,
nice.
And yes, but at the same time, I was
nice
upset
for him, not nice for us.
Because one, that was something that I'm not getting absolved of anything. It's the insurance company that's getting absolved, right? Because the insurance company should have paid that.
Yeah.
But then they tried to charge me for what they screwed up. But then who ends up paying for it?
We do.
The
taxpayer.
taxpayers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So the winner in that scenario was not me. It was not the taxpayers.
Right.
It was the insurance company. They, even though I paid my premiums and I paid my copay, whatever it was, the insurance company got let off because GMH didn't do what they were supposed to do.
True.
And they just sat on it. It's tragic. And so that's what part of the problem is, that we're not acting like it's a hospital. They have to act like a business. Right? And the hospital will close if they don't make revenue. The other part of it is like what Dr. Akimoto always yells about is that, and I don't know if it's true. I've never worked at GMH. I've never been there. I don't know if there's non-essential workers over there on the payroll making the manning document bloated and getting paid for doing nothing or non-essential stuff. I don't know how true that is, but that's his he always makes that claim that there's like 900 or 700 something in that figure of people that are over there just twiddling their thumbs, doing nothing and collecting a paycheck, right? I don't know if that's true, but if that's true, then that's the other half of the problem, right? One half of the problem is we're not collecting what we're supposed to collect, and the other half of the problem is we're paying for things that are unnecessary. And every agency, the average is about, 90% payroll and 10% everything else?
I believe the last I checked, I believe it was like $80 million that was being paid for the employees at GMH, and that was not including the doctors and the nurses. So that was just basically for admin staff, and all of that maintenance and stuff. But $80 million per year, that was the payout.
And then, I'm listening to you guys also talking about, why are we so dysfunctional? Why are we not able to do what we need to do? If you look at it from a big picture kind of thing, right? I mean, really big picture. We first started out under the Spanish administration and then under the American Naval Administration. And then the main turning point was in 1950 when the government of Guam was established. And it was supposed to, be under the tutelage of the federal government until we can stand up on our own. And we've made leaps and bounds since then, as far as our autonomy of our courts, autonomy of our legislature, the strength and power of our legislature. The legislature has a lot more power than like the Indian nations in the States, right? So all that being said, we're still 75 years old as a government. We're not that old, but we're also not that young.
Right.
75 years, we should have our act together by now.
Yeah.
Right? And we look to our surrounding areas like Singapore, Palau, places like that, and they have their problems, I'm sure, but with what we have as far as the resources and the the assistance that we've had. We should be at a lot better place than we are now. There's always room for improvement, but if we look at it, we have come a long way, but we still have a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Longer way to go. But the question becomes then, is where we're at today satisfactory? Is where we're at today, is that, do we get good grade, and I'm not talking about just the administration, but I'm talking about as a whole, the judiciary, the legislature, the executive. As a three-branch government with a whole bunch of autonomous agencies, are we good? Some would argue, yeah, life on Guam is great. We may not have the most state-of-the-art things, but in our region, we're head and shoulders above all our neighboring islands.
Sure.
But
some of
the
the
question
concerns...
becomes: can we be better?
Oh,
or
yeah.
should we be better?
There's always room for improvement. One of the concerns that I have is always, are we actually getting what is owed to us through Section 30 funds? And I would hope that there is even more investigation into that, because I think that we aren't getting our fair share, that there are some companies doing business with the military contracts that are not fulfilling the agreement and paying taxes that would stay here. Did you hear that?
Well, you got to make sure you differentiate between Section 30 funds and funds that we as a government tax. Section 30 funds, I believe the source of that is all the income tax that people who are not residents of Guam, who are here for work, like the military and even the civilians, the income tax that they pay. Other types of revenue, I believe government of Guam is supposed to directly tax those guys. I could be wrong on that, but that's what I understand.
So I had a relative that was here for 3 years, and he was sharing with me how much stays here, but he doesn't even know if it's staying here because...
Well, it's supposed to be captured, right? By when these guys file their taxes and they say that where they're working at is Guam. That's how they capture it. Their home of record may still be Kentucky or Washington or whatnot. Yeah.
Yes.
But so that's what my understanding of where Section 30 funds come. As far as that other revenue that we can capture, I think that's up to us to capture it. I don't think it goes through Section 30 funds. I could be wrong, but that's my understanding.
Well, if that's the case, then, we're not going to get that because we haven't even got property tax receipts yet.
Yeah, and I know it's BJ Cruz that was, picking at the scab or leading the fight, arguing that or bringing up the issue that there's a lot of revenue that's escaping because these companies are there's no way to enforce it. It's sort of like an honor code, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But the question is, again, are we as a government behind the curve?
Well, I mean,
just
you were
right ahead of the curve.
You were at Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio's rally, and he said that we're better than we were 7 years ago. Do you agree?
I don't agree on the crime because I work in the criminal justice system, and I see it. The week before, Pauly, they dismissed 5 cases in 1 week because there was no prosecutor or they weren't ready to go to trial. So as far as that is concerned, I can speak to that because I live and breathe and work in the criminal justice system. I know what's going on in the criminal justice system. I cannot be fooled by billboards and phony press releases, right? So as far as that is concerned, I don't think we're better. As far as like government finances and government revenue and all that, just like in the United States, whoever's in charge can take credit for the increased revenues, but are they really the reason why, right? Are they the cause of the increased revenues? Or is it outside forces and other factors like the economy, right? So we may be at a better place financially, but who's responsible for that? Who gets the credit for that? That's the question you got to ask.
Well, the buck stops with who's ever in loop on all things.
Yeah,
both good and bad.
Exactly, both good and bad. But at the end of the day, like I said, even in America, when the economy's doing great or when the economy's doing bad, they blame the president or give credit to the president if it's doing great. But then you really got to ask the question: is the president really responsible for a great economy, or is the president really responsible for a bad economy? You know, that
there's all kinds of different things that are. I mean, look at the situation with the yen in Japan. That's affecting us. We have no control over that. Oil prices will go up, even though it's not the price of oil in Singapore stays the same. But how does it get here? And so the cost of getting it here will go up because of all of the things that are happening globally that are indirectly affecting our grocery bill, our power bill, the costs to bring in these products. So those are things that we can't control but are affecting our daily life.
My whole thing is, you know, we've had a boon as far as increased revenue due to military activity. My whole question is, you know, did we do the right thing with that increased revenue? I'm not really a great fan, Pauly, and I think I've told you this before. I'm not a great fan of giving back those rebates or giving those rebates. I think it would have been better spent with capital improvements.
Well, what did we? Which one are we talking about? Are we talking about the programmatic agreement where they built us a lab over in Manilao and a repository?
No, I'm just talking about the increased revenue due to military activity.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
What did we do with that extra funds that keep coming in?
Sure.
Right. Unanticipated funds or unforecasted funds. What did we do with that? You know, we gave a lot back to as far as power credits, right?
Sure.
And
I see what you're saying.
Could that have been more wisely spent with capital improvements or shoring up other parts of the government?
Right.
You know, I understand. You know, relief for the ratepayers, but was it equally applied? Right.
Oh, it was equally applied for every ratepayer, whether you were a resident.
But not every person is a ratepayer, right? There's some three-family households, and they only get one.
Yes.
You know, they're all taxpayers, but they only get one rebate for that house.
And so does an entire company on their
correct.
On their
correct.
power
That's what
bill.
I'm saying. You know, was it fairly distributed? And then the second question is, should we even have done it that way or done it at all in the first place, or should we have used it for capital improvements?
That was right before the election back then.
No, hindsight is 2020, right? I mean, we're all getting that $100 for a month definitely helped me, right? But I understand what is the betterment of
I think he's out
for the entire island. And when we're talking about capital improvements, I have to agree with that.
Brother Pete, we got cut off.
But there were, you know, that was, if I'm not mistaken, that was unanimous.
Yeah.
Right? Getting that rebate back, those the power credits.
I mean, it did help me. I ain't gonna lie, but you know, hindsight.
But it's gone now.
Could that
and
money?
Here we are.
Yeah. Could that money have gone to GPA to beef up their systems where rates can go low? I don't know.
Maybe to pay for that infrastructure that we need that $104 million
for.
Could have used it for that infrastructure, because we might have to now go to the bond and lose the $104 million of free money.
Hey, speaking of BJ, happy birthday.
It's his birthday?
Today is his birthday. Speaker BJ Cruz.
Speaker BJ Cruz's birthday.
Yeah, and so happy birthday from Pauly and I.
Yeah. He's like the epitome of a statesman.
Oh, of course.
Right?
Yeah, one thing I like about Speaker BJ Cruz, because I was at the legislature then, that guy, sometimes he just like looks at everybody like, no, you did not just say that. No, you did not just make that amendment. Yeah, and he just basically just tears everybody a new one, right? Like, you guys are idiots. And so he was, at the time it was Governor Eddie Calvo that was asking for the BPT, right, to be raised at 1%. Although he knew what this was going to be, he was very adamant that it had a sunshine provision, that it was only going to be for a certain amount of time. But of course, when Governor Liu came in, she realized that, hey, look, this BPT thing is helping us out.
Helping the government
out. Yeah, provide services. But of course, the businesses were saying, wait a minute, because
I see both sides. I see both sides. Yeah. It's about philosophy here now at this point.
Yeah.
Because when I was listening to the business owners and sharing what they were talking about, well, we are the ones that also provide stability within the economy, right?
Without us, nobody has jobs. Everything.
What is the state? How do you determine the health, the economic health of a government?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually, you look at the private sector.
True.
Is there development? Are they flourishing? Are there jobs? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a philosophy, a difference of philosophy, because I understand where the governor is coming from. And one thing that I've heard her say is she is about assisting people. And so she wants to make sure that people that work in the government are getting their fair share that they were not getting for multiple administrations.
True.
And so when the pay increases came, everyone's like, wow, 22%, that's insane. Nobody gets that. Well, they wouldn't have got the 22% increase if every administration was just implementing those increments the way they should have.
Kicking the can down the road.
And the studies showed that these government employees were supposed to be. So we just caught up with ourselves. And so it's a difference of philosophy, and on that issue, I see both sides. We'll take the break. This is Wave 105.
Calling all engaged couples and event planners. Join Leo Palace Resort Guam for our first ever bridal and event expo, The Road to I Do. Happening March 21st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Zafiro Ballroom. Explore venue options, financial planning, bridal glam, formal wear, wellness, entertainment services, and more, all in one place. The Road to I Do at Leo Palace Resort Guam. Design your day, define your forever. Special thanks to Power 98, Wave 105, and Route 99.
Mausonia ifinota. Hinasu ginini komisyon ifinot sa moro. Ekungok si Senora Hope Cristobal.
Iparatazzo guha ifino. Parata fanfino sa moro. Zano tana siguro na makompreprendi hit. Zangin iume kungok tigef siguro. Debdi tana kloklaro. Lo mahput na lo lingsa pa ako na tempo todo megay no na problema no ti manali hit con tempo leko na zangin manfino English tasigi manfino sa moro tia josasaw senior hat.
With decades experience in Guam and the region, Take Care members have access to the largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs. Membership also includes the high-quality credentialed network of on- and off-island healthcare providers and the one-stop FHB Health Center and Urgent Care. Ask for Take Care. Call 671-647-3526. Go to TakeCareAsia.com for more information. Take Care. Our island, your health plan.
Calling all engaged couples and event planners. Join Leo Palace Resort Guam for our first ever bridal and event expo, The Road to I Do. Happening March 21st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Zafiro Ballroom. Explore venue options, financial planning, bridal glam, formal wear, wellness, entertainment services, and more, all in one place. The Road to I Do at Leo Palace Resort Guam. Design your day, define your forever. Special thanks to Power 98, Wave 105, and Route 99.
Craving Chili's? Let's make life easy. Grab their signature wings, crispy, saucy, and comes with a special treat. Or pick up a Chili's bundle promo, packed with all the Chili's faves. Order exclusively via good-to-go delivery or takeout. At Chili's, great food and value happen here.
4:49 in the afternoon. Once again, it's about that time we check out the roads of Guam. And to do that for you, with our real deal traffic report, we have Mr. Pauly Suba. Buenas.
All right, well, so we're about 9 minutes away from
Crunch
the
time.
5 o'clock hour, right? So everybody's hanging out real close to the clock?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can help you out here. So if you're coming from Hagåtña, right? Route 1's still not too bad, but again, everybody's going to be getting out around the same time, so you're all going to be hanging out with each other on 1. 8 doesn't look too bad at all, even through the tri-intersection. But we'll check out that tri-intersection in about 10 minutes. Going through 16, I don't see too many issues. Route 1, I start to see some mild delays between the Micronesia Mall and the Guam Regional Medical City. And there is heavy congestion going up the Tarza Water Park hill up to Tumon. Once you get onto 1, you're okay, but there's definitely a long line of cars sitting, idling, trying to get up that hill right now. Your Real Deal Traffic Report right here on Wave 105, brought to you by Guam Auto Spot. Schedule that test drive today by calling 478-AUTO or view Guam Auto Spot's inventory on their website at guamautospot.com. And Mobile Oil Guam, go farther on every journey with Mobile Synergy Supreme Plus Fuel, keeping your engine 3 times cleaner for better gas mileage. Visit guam.mobile.com for details. Back 671-922-1051 or 1052. We're online to wave105.com as well as our YouTube channel, Wave 105.1 FM Guam. And so yeah, we kind of got sidetracked there with the hospital, right, when we were talking about the director of public health in Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
And so she's participating in the Association of State and Territorial Health Officials Spring Leadership Forum. That's fast. Because wasn't the governor at some like winter meeting? And so we're
winter, spring, summer, fall.
Within a week.
So
we went from winter to spring.
Who's going to go for the summer thingy?
The lieutenant governor. Got to get in all of his trips.
Can't. Yeah. Can't because that's in the middle of July.
Yeah,
June.
you can't go on no more trips.
No. The primary is too close for
everybody's
August.
paying plenty attention.
Yeah. Okay, so the winter, he can do winter.
It's a joke.
Or no.
It's just a joke.
Yeah, it's too close to November, right? Yeah.
Let me see.
Maybe after November, if it's winter, December, he could go.
Depending on where you are. Maybe you're not in the general anymore. Then you're going to just...
Then take them all.
You're going to take all the trips. So... again, she was there to hang out where state and territorial health leaders are meeting with members of Congress to discuss sustained investments in public health infrastructure, workforce development, laboratory capacity, and data modernization. On Tuesday morning, the director is scheduled to meet with Congressman Jim Moylan to review public health's previous and current federal requests. Discussions will focus on funding, stability. It's not yet Tuesday there, right? It's still Monday going into Tuesday. So she's set to hang out with Congressman Jim Moylan to review public health's previous and current federal requests. Discussions will focus on funding stability, territorial Medicaid considerations, and the resources necessary to strengthen public health systems serving Guam's families, seniors, and vulnerable populations. As a U.S. territory, Guam faces unique funding structures and federal policy limitations that directly impact the delivery of services. Participation in these meetings allows public health leadership to elevate island priorities and advocate for equitable support that reflects Guam's needs. The director said, federal investments in public health directly affect our ability to serve our community. These conversations are important to ensure Guam's voice is heard and our public health system remains strong and responsive. Ensuring Guam territories are never forgotten and always included in legislation that will greatly impact the health of our community. And so, again, the conversation always revolves around, are we top of mind for those that make decisions, right? And so, yes, having a representative in Congress, a non-voting, is still important. It still is, but he's non-voting, right? And so the decision makers in Congress, whether it's the U.S. House or the Senate, these conversations are important. I used to think when I wasn't really understanding all the dynamics, and I'm still learning. Every day I'm learning. I was against all the traveling. I was like, that's a waste of money. Sometimes they're federally funded, not all the time. But when you go to these meetings and you're in the room, you make a bigger impact. There is a bigger impact, especially when you make these relationships. And I didn't understand also why Adelup at the time was setting up offices in D.C. and had and stationed people there. Like, but you have Congress.
Yeah.
However, sometimes they don't align, but then you're stronger with numbers.
Yeah.
Right? And so sometimes whoever is the representative of Congress isn't always got the same priorities as the administration. However, I've been told that Congresswoman Madeline Bordallo worked well with Eddie Calvo. And Governor Longuerero has been on the record stating that she works well with Congressman Jim Moylan.
Yes, no, I was there with some of the meetings, and every time Congressman James comes, first order of business is to go directly and meet with the governor and lieutenant governor to talk about how everything is on the federal side and what's happening. He updates her and let him know, this is what I plan to do, this is what I plan to introduce, this is how it's going to help. So, yeah, he does have a good working relationship with Governor Liu, and rightfully so. I think those two counterpart office, they should be working together.
Right.
They need to, and I think they're on the page with that one Guam approach for both offices, which is good. So kudos to Congressman James and Lieutenant Governor for even doing such a thing. I mean, they need to do it anyway. I mean, because with all the military buildup, with all the federal funding, with everything that is happening on Guam, those two offices need to be in communication.
Right. And I'm not saying that they have to go on all the trips, and I don't think that they are going on all the trips. There are some that they end up, they do virtual. But what I would say is when you start building these relationships, right, and you start meeting people face to face, and being in the room, there is more of an impact. There is conversation that happens rather than just turning off Zoom and going about your day. And it is easy for those people to be like, next meeting, who we got next. In Washington, D.C., it's always a next meeting.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to be in front of their face, telling the Guam story, sharing the challenges that we're facing, and reminding them we are Americans too.
You know,
and we are carrying the burden.
Pauly, when you look at the office of congressman, our representative, that particular office is kind of like a one-man lobbying group.
Yes.
You know, but when we're competing with actual lobbyists, you know, for getting everything that Guam can get. Remember these?
Oh, like the 51st state Israel.
That and then of course, you know, you have other states.
Lobbyists.
You have other states that actually do hire lobbyists. You know, for that same piece of pie that Congressman James is going for. So, you know, so putting an office there with Madeline Verdalia, who has been there for like 16 years, who has, you know, built relationships, and she's still popular.
Republican and Democrat.
Yeah. And
she's a staple.
Congressman James knows this,
yes.
And so they work together, you know. So how, you know, and the whole approach is to how it's going to benefit Guam.
Yeah.
So
when she walks into the room, there's just she lights up the whole space.
Yeah, Guam's Barbie. That's what we call her.
We'll take this break.
Yes.
Yeah, we got one more hour on the Brightside on a Tuesday. KGWM FM in Dededo, Guam will get you your CBS News, and then we'll be right back with another Real Deal Traffic Report right here on Wave 105.
CBS News Brief. Iran is firing missiles into Israel, but most of them are being shot down.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. Iran is launching strikes against American targets across the Middle East.
I'm Dil Gavlak in Amman, Jordan. Saudi Arabia's defense ministry reports that 2 drones struck the U.S. embassy, causing a limited fire and some material damage. It was empty at the time of the attack. There were no reported injuries. President Trump said the U.S. would soon respond to the attack on the embassy and to the killing of U.S. service members in Kuwait.
And the U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia is now telling Americans to avoid the embassy until further notice due to an attack on the facility. And the State Department has ordered all non-emergency personnel and family to leave Iraq, Bahrain, and Jordan. U.S. Central Command says American forces have destroyed Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps command and control facilities, Iranian air defense capabilities, missile and drone launch sites, and military airfields. President Trump says those attacks on Iran are far from over.
Our objectives are clear. First, we're destroying Iran's missile capabilities, and you see that happening on an hourly basis, and their capacity to produce brand new ones, and pretty good ones they make. Second, we're annihilating their Navy. We've knocked out already 10 ships.
The president has formally notified Congress now of the attacks on Iran. CBS's Patrick McGuire has that.
President Trump on Monday sent Congress what's called a War Powers Resolution notification about the U.S. strikes inside Iran, and CBS News has obtained the letter. This letter isn't just paperwork, it's the opening move in what could be a real separation of powers fight inside both parties over who controls the next phase of this conflict.
There are scattered protests here in the U.S. against the attacks on Iran in Providence, Rhode Island.
We want a president that enforces laws, but that respects laws, and this president does not.
And in San Francisco.
No war on Iran!
Will the conflict in Iran mean higher prices at the pump? CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady says, for now anyway, no, but that could change.
In an extreme scenario, oil could reach above $100 per barrel, but consumers wouldn't see an impact overnight. For every $1 increase in oil prices, that translates to roughly 2.5 cents at the pump. It's a slow creep. And it's not just gas prices, but inflation overall that's a concern.
The Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie and her sister and brother-in-law returned to their mother's home outside Tucson on Monday. It's the first time they've been seen there since the 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie went missing a month ago. The three walked arm in arm down the driveway and laid yellow flowers at the edge of the street. Stock futures down sharply across the board at this hour. This is CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make
make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list, and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love. Sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
McDonald's fans are absolutely skewering the chain's CEO over his awkward interaction with the new burger.
I love this product. It is so good. I'm going to do a tasting right now, but I'm going to eat this for my lunch, just so you know.
Critics accuse Mickey D's Chris Kempchenski of treating the Archburger like a foreign object.
Holy cow. God, that is a big burger.
After he gets his mouth around it for a baby-sized sample, he declares,
"It's a delicious product."
One Instagram user wonders if he's ever eaten at McDonald's before. Another says Chris Kazora screams, "Kale salad." A third deems the demo the most unnatural thing they've ever seen.
That is so good.
Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
The White House says a red spot on President Trump's neck comes from a prescribed skin cream. The president's doctor says Trump applies a common cream to the right side of his neck as a preventive treatment. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
A challenge to current and future tomorrow generations. Hinasu ginini komisyon ifino tamoro ekunguk si Dr. Laura M. Torres Sauter.
There are generations of Zamoros who went before you, who have paved the way. Recognize them always. We have to recognize our ancestors. We have to recognize those who are pace setters, who contributed to where we are at today. But don't be afraid to move forward. Don't be afraid to write your own chapter. If you are left out, it's because you didn't do a damn thing about it. If Chamorro language dies in the next generation, 30 years, it's because your generation didn't do anything about it. All I ask the future generations is to take their role in this quest seriously. Senior
5:07 in the afternoon. This is the Brightside right here on Wave 105. We are KGUM. It's about that time we take another look, our first look for the 5 o'clock hour for your Real Deal traffic report. Standing by, Mr. Pauly Suba. Buenas.
All right, so looking at Tumon again, yeah, there is now the line goes as far back as the T Galleria by DFS. So
Okay.
You've got a lot of congestion trying to get up the hill back over to Route 1. On Route 1, Marine Corps Drive, in that area is not too bad. Even as you get closer to the Micronesia Mall, I don't see too many issues. Coming out or into General Ben Blas Boulevard, that's not an issue yet either. As we get closer and closer to the 5 o'clock hour, and all of that traffic from Hagåtña starts to head up, that could change. But for right now, at 5:08 in the afternoon, it's not too bad. Over by the airport and mobile intersection on Route 1, there are delays, even going southbound, trying to
Okay.
get through that area. I see some congestion there. Your Real Deal traffic report here on Wave 105, brought to you by Guam Auto Spot. Schedule that test drive today by calling 478 Auto. View their inventory on their website at GuamAutospot.com. And Mobile Oil Guam, go farther on every journey with Mobile Synergy Supreme Plus Fuel, keeping your engine 3 times cleaner. For better gas mileage, visit guam.mobile.com for details.
Here we go. Check it out.
Users of the Brightside, GTA, we start with you. Subway, eat fresh in just a few clicks. Order online at subwaypacific.com for pickup at your convenience or for delivery right at your doorstep. And Micropack, powering your business with cutting-edge tech. Visit Micropack today in Tamuning or the Micronesia Mall. Take your business to the next level. And Chili's Grill and Bar. At Chili's, more life, great food, and memories happen here. 671-922-1051 is the number. We are online, thewave105.com, as well as our YouTube channel, Wave 105.1 FM. Let me see here. I saw this other article, GVB approving $145,000 for cultural and sports events. This is from the PDN.
Okay.
And so they approved sponsoring 5 upcoming events, 3 cultural heritage festivals, and 2 sports events. Any sponsorship over $10,000 requires board approval. The board approved $25,000 for the Humatec Municipal Planning Council for their 2026 Guam History and Tomorrow Heritage Day Festival.
Okay.
That was like 4 days, right?
Yeah.
So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then yesterday, Monday, right? So they approved that. They also approved the Tsetlu Fest, also known as the Tomorrow Hands and Education Links Unity, otherwise Tsetlu Fest, which I believe is in the Oceanside, California. So what's that, San Diego?
Wow.
That's near San Diego, right? Oceanside?
Yeah. Okay.
And so they are sponsoring that event. The Malesu Crab Festival.
That's coming up this month.
Yeah,
right?
that's like March 14, right? Or something like that.
I'm not sure.
It's a
the
3-day
actual-
weekend
Okay.
also. It is coming up real soon. The 14th is a Saturday, so 13, 14, and 15th is the Crab Festival. That's going to be a lot of fun. So they sponsored that event. That's $15,000. And then the $50,000 for the Visitor Industry Education Council annual WAVE kickoff.
What happens there?
That's the WAVE. That's that
Welcome.
children's. It's it's like field trips.
Okay.
To hotels and in like tourism, hospitality industry companies, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's what I remember it being, where they go behind the scenes, they talk to, people in the hotels, maybe even the airlines, anybody. And to be honest with you, it could even be here. Like everybody is somewhat, in the hospitality industry.
Part of the promotion of Guam, right? Can you imagine doing like a minute video, right, with people just waving? I mean, they've done it before, right? Waving, and then you just see Guam, you see the beauty of Guam and everything. And, I think it was GVB that said they had like how many billboard spaces?
Yeah.
In where was it? Taiwan or was it Taipei? One of those. Yeah. Can you imagine playing a video of a minute? Just like wave. Wave. Welcome all visitors enthusiastically.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is, right? And so it's to promote tourism in Guam, aims to educate youth about the importance of tourism in the local economy, and encourages involvement in the tourism sector.
Yeah.
They collaborate with various stakeholders, including local businesses and educational institutions, to enhance understanding of Guam's unique culture, history, and environment, ultimately benefiting the tourism industry and the community.
Yeah, and so I would love to see a video. Like if I go to Narita, they have all these, flat screens all over the place where people can watch. Can you imagine just seeing a Guam video, with people jet skiing, people fishing, people swimming, kids waving, and then, in Japanese, catch the wave on Guam and everything. That would, like, for me as a tourist, it would be like, oh, wow, that is
What
beautiful.
are your thoughts on them looking at Malaysia and Singapore
I would think, you got to look at the visa power that they have.
Yeah, that's
First
pretty
and
strong.
Yeah, first and foremost.
That's one of the reasons why they're looking into Malaysia.
Yeah, and I think, for anybody that hasn't seen Guam, the uniqueness of Guam is this: they don't have to travel far. It's
The
like
argument is, though, that there's no direct flight, right? And so the Malaysia market, they'll go to Philippines, maybe Korea, Japan, and then get the flight over to Guam,
well,
right?
Okay, so that, again, I'll go back to Congressman James Moylan, since he's on a roll with trying to do certain things, right? Change the Organic Act. Well, the cabotage deal.
Yes.
Because, I don't know what happened to the movement where even the CNMI, the one Marianas approach on this, because they benefit if they can get that changed with, inviting more airlines to come to Guam and also to the CNMI.
Explain it to me again, because the way I didn't realize that there were flights that were coming in here and you couldn't get out of the plane.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that. I thought every plane that came, landed here,
well,
you all got to get out.
I've heard of stories where they could not, if they were in transit, they cannot stay on the plane, so they'll, because they have to clean it up and everything.
But
they cannot leave the airport, and so they would get back onto the plane, disembark, and then get back on the plane, and then everybody from Guam, originated from Guam, will get on
What
that
is the
plane.
purpose, though? I mean, because planes can fly direct from Japan to Houston.
True, but then you see that's the negotiating power of that particular country with the airlines. Guam doesn't have that, and so that's what that's where we need to change that, because I mean that's why do you think the flights in Philippines are so cheap? Because they have all these airlines.
Right.
All these airlines want to take part in it because Philippines, I mean, they're even building a new airport.
Well, they have millions of people that
of
live
people.
there.
Yeah, and so
We have 160,000.
exactly. And so, but of course, Guam, is the gateway to the United States.
We are America.
We are America in the Pacific.
Yeah,
and so
we are.
We should take advantage of
I
that.
mean, if you, what are the benefits, right? You're like, well, you got the Philippines, they got beaches, and and we can even argue they have prettier beaches.
Yeah.
So we have beaches here. We have beautiful beaches.
Yeah.
And we are America. That has always been the selling point, right?
It's always been the selling point, but again, Uncle Si, Simon Sanchez, I remember him saying, Guam, it's all about, fun in the sun, nice sandy beaches, blue waters. But I'm like, hey, dude, what happens when it rains? And we saw it. It got flooded, in some areas here in Guam yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm not even taking away from our culture. I think that's for us. Again, back to the conversation that we had yesterday.
Yeah.
We need to perpetuate it. It is our responsibility, and we benefit from it the most.
Yeah.
And everything else is a bonus. And so if other people see that and want to partake, absolutely, because we are a very welcoming community and people, and we will definitely encourage participation.
So you got to look at what's going for us and what is kind of like really making it hard.
Right.
A lot of these tourists, they know they watch TV too as well. They have their own national news, and and so they see all the turmoil going on, right, within the world.
Oh,
okay.
I thought they were the turmoil that's going on with their legislature.
Well, of course. Well, that's another story for another time, right? But so they see all the turmoil, and so with this big military buildup, they want to stay away from as much as possible. Because they do have a history too of, with World War II, and so I'm not just talking about Japan. I'm talking about everywhere. Anywhere there's a big military buildup, what does that tell you? So the $1 million question is, can we have a military buildup, right, to sustain our our security nationally and here on Guam, and still have a thriving tourism industry. Now you got to look, when the military pulled out back in the early
Well,
90s.
Somebody wanted to take pictures of the base, and they got arrested.
Well, so when you look at the history, right, when the military was already pulling out, from Subic Bay and Guam, they were downsizing the BRAC. That's what they call it, Base Realignment Committee and all that. You saw a surge of people wanting to do business because the military was no longer here. So you see they had the construction boom of the late 80s, early 90s, and tourism was just flourishing. Well, now the military's coming back, and you see all these places like, whoa, hold on for a second, because Trump is, he's serious. And so that's the $1 million question is, can we have a military buildup that balances us out with the tourism industry? And I'm not too sure. I can't even answer that question because I'm looking at what happened yesteryear, right, when I saw it. And I was younger then, and I understood it.
Well, when I went to South Korea, there were a number of like military type defense systems on top of skyscrapers, right? And it didn't seem to be an issue.
Of course.
I didn't necessarily see. I didn't see any like messaging either. I didn't see billboards. Right, and so I don't know if that's something that we should do as a government. I don't know if it would scare visitors away. I mean, it's pretty obvious that, we just drive on Route 16 and you can see some military infrastructure, right? But the base is the Navy base and also Anderson Air Force Base. I mean, I see tourist visitors, at least at Anderson, getting down and taking a picture next to the wall with their, the Air Force emblem.
Yeah, it's only
and it
because
says
of that,
Anderson Air Force Base.
It's only because of that Pac-Man movie.
Right.
What was the movie?
But be careful though, because you will be arrested for spying.
Yeah.
So don't get too close to the wall.
Yeah.
I see there's an interest for some visitors that are wanting to get a closer look or whatnot. And then there are signs that say this is not a thoroughway.
Yeah.
Right. And it's also translated in Korean and
Korea.
Japanese.
Yeah,
No,
Korea.
here in Guam though.
Okay.
And so I see those signs. They're not everywhere, but basically they're just letting the tourist know, the visitor know, that you don't have access to this, right? This is not the main road, and yet still visitors will not pay attention to the sign and keep driving towards the military installation.
Yeah.
I don't know what a military installation looks like in Japan or Korea, but to me, that looks like a place that you just don't keep driving into. However, there are many of the gate guards that say it happens all the time.
Well, in regards to Korea, right? Remember, what was it, 1950 during the Korean conflict? People were born into it, so it's kind of like the norm, right? That you will see missiles and and skyscrapers and everything, and it's almost second nature to them. Here on Guam, we haven't. Last time was 1940, so we're all about freedom and all that. So we're not accustomed to seeing missiles here and there and everything. Right. Where they the Koreans they have that, what do you have, the DMZ zone?
Yeah. That's a tourist spot too.
And that's a tourist spot.
People
right?
go there
just to take
pictures.
Yeah. And so with that in mind, we're kind of different. It's a different baby, so you wouldn't see it. But I can guarantee you, I mean, just even having those golf balls right near Barragata Heights, I'm like, wow, that's nice. That freaks me out.
Well, there's always going to be these like historical like buffs, right?
Yeah.
Or nerds.
Yeah.
That want to go see these areas. I think there's
or fly your drone and
no, but
don't fly your drone and then get
there's
caught.
Also the PT guns.
Yeah.
The War in the Pacific Park.
Yeah.
Those are places that people will go to and take pictures, right? So these are known landmarks of World War II battle areas, right?
Okay, think about this, because of the conspiracy mind, my mind of, being the whole conspiracy thing, right? Okay, so we know that we're having some issues, right, with our tourism industry, and we know that to battle this rut that we're in with the tourists, right? Bringing in more tourists is, of course, the key word here is cabotage, right? Knock that out, and we'll get more airlines to give more competitive rates as far as ticketing and everything. You get to pay some good prices, cheap prices, because when competition comes, that means the price drops. So the conspiracy wheels are turning in my head right now. So would we ever get cabotage? It has to be an act of Congress. No, right? Why wouldn't it be? Because of the military buildup that's happening. And
you don't think it's competition?
That it could be a number of things.
Yeah.
But I would love to think that anything that's good for Guam is good for the United States. Apparently, we've been going at this cabotage thing for since Senator Jess Lahan was his first term ever, ever serving as a senator. And from what he told me when he brought it up, I mean, he was, in Chamorro, they call it Dulalak Talawani, right? They kicked him out. Like, hey, no, you had of course, at the time, Continental saying, no, we can't have this, da-da-da-da. They wanted to corner the market. And so he became, ousted like he was the Black Plague. Like, no, that's bad for Guam, and da-da-da-da-da. So
we tried it, right? Having two airlines, right? Delta and United, and it didn't last very long, or Delta.
It didn't last very long because, there was a preference, right? And so... so when you have airlines in, and we also had Cebu Pacific that just pulled out, but then they were here before. Thank God for Philippine Airlines, and we see JAL come in, but JAL.
Well, the flights are not full.
Yeah,
they're canceling flights from Cebu.
Yeah, and so now we just need to to look at what works and we look at what doesn't work. And we know that right now, whatever it is that we're in, it's not bringing any tourists in. As a matter of fact, it's killing flights to the point where they're like, no, we're going to close down because, because we can't compete. We're not going to fly here to Guam for like 30 passengers.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't even care what agency cuts the grass on Marine Corps Drive and what section it gets cut, right? But I think that cutting grass all along Marine Corps Drive, throughout all the villages, especially near landmarks. Identify them all, right? And again, I don't care if you increase GVB's budget or you just get it done, because we know that all is part of destination management.
How has the system worked out? I mean, because...
GVB only has a certain section. There was a point where they were cutting GVB was supposed to be cutting Marine Corps Drive on Route 1, but I think that's back to DPW. It's definitely not the mayor's.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right. The main road, Marine Corps Drive, just because it runs through PT, doesn't mean that Mayor Jesse Alec is supposed to be the one cutting the grass from the fisheye all the way to Naval Base Guam.
I can settle this right here. Any roads, like main thoroughways that get federal funding, that all should come from GovGuam, which is of course DPW.
Right.
But parks,
we're not even cutting Marine Corps Drive. It's not even maintained.
Yes, but
it has to be on a consistent basis.
GVB just gave $25,000 to to UMATIC, for the Miss Chamorro
These
deal.
events.
So I think GVB should be the one to bring in the money and disperse it. And the mayor's only, I don't know if this is what's happening. I don't know. If anybody knows, please call in. But GVB should get it and disperse the money to all these villages that have parks. And all they do is just parks. If their villages have a park, they'll...
Not every park is their jurisdiction, right? They have to have an MOU with DPW. Like Inalahan does with the Inalahan pool. That is an MOU, Mayor TC is just saying, I'll handle it. I'll make sure that this
Yeah,
park
well,
gets taken care
Just
of.
give me the resources, and if GVB is all about beautifying Guam and keeping Guam clean, then give it to the mayors. They're there. You know?
I think that has to be. Not every mayor wants that responsibility. when you listen to the 19 mayors, right? Not all the mayors are gonna be down for that, but because of all the extra everything else that they say, oh, give it to the mayor. They're the dog catcher.
Yeah, well,
they're
no,
the
yeah.
abandoned vehicle picker upper.
Yeah.
They're the illegal dump. You know.
But I firmly believe that the anytime you start saying mayors, I got 50 grand for you, your job is just to keep this park clean.
As long as you give them the resources.
Now, the more parks you have in your village, the bigger your budget.
But also resources are not just funding. It could also be staff, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
and it can also be equipment.
Well, I can handle that right there. Anybody that's on SNAP that is able-bodied, guess what? You're there. The mayors can pick up some people with this extra funding coming in.
Well, it seems simple enough. It's just not getting done.
Well,
right? It's just not getting done.
I think even the simplest things, like Pauly, can you turn on your car?
So here we are on a tropical island, right? And yet Marine Corps Drive looks like a concrete jungle. There's I don't know. I grew up with the medians. There was grass on the medians. Now they're just like, let's just cover the whole thing up with concrete.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's a quick, fix because I guess typhoons come and knock down the trees. So no more trees. However, now the middle median isn't getting painted on a regular basis.
Yeah.
It's not getting water blasted ever, and neither are the sidewalks. And so we don't necessarily look. What are we known for? We are a tropical island in the Pacific Ocean, and Marine Corps Drive does not look like that.
Of course not. Yeah, and that's why again, this is election year. All the voters, everybody listening, if you're not registered to vote, please go and register because you're going to have all these people running for office talking about great ideas. They have beautiful signs. They're smiling. Everything's great. They try to make you be optimistic about things moving. Hey, don't fall for it, okay? Don't believe the hype, in other words, okay? Like Pauly said, why aren't the roads, why aren't the medians being painted, right? Why are we still suffering with no new hospital? Why are our kids suffering up there north with no Simon Sanchez? These are the things. And so, again, when these people come up to you and ask you, I need your support. Can you vote for me and everything? I'm running for this office and everything. First thing I'm going to say is, what is your plan?
Yeah.
What do you plan to do? And if there are in there already in the legislature, okay, what have you done? And what are you going to do different to effectuate this change pretty much that everybody's talking about? Don't get me wrong. Most of these people, they're great people. They're, again, you have to convince, if you have the great idea, you have 14 other people to convince that it is a great idea, and then you need 8 to actually vote on the idea.
Right.
But at the same time, these guys are getting paid. Whether it's chump change or not, they're getting paid. They knew what they signed up for going into office and everything. Call them, be engaged. Go out to all these events and everything and find out what is their plan. What are they going to do different? How are they going to get the money? That's the first thing I'm going to say is like, oh, I got a great plan. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. How are you going to get the money? Where, because the first thing they're going to say, we don't have money. The government of Guam doesn't have money. Okay, well, how do you plan to do it?
Yeah.
You see, these are things that voters nowadays need to be concerned about because, man, I don't know if I could survive the next 2 years. I mean, first off, it's dark on the road. I need that yellow median being paid.
Right.
I'm getting older, man. My vision is failing me. And let's face it, there are some places on the road. I mean, reflectors, they're putting them up in certain areas. Some roads don't even have reflectors. some roads are jaff and everything. Where you see it's a nice paved, and then you see bald spots and everything. So
I have to give it up to DPW because I'll drive every now and then, every other weekend, every 2 weekends. I'll take the drive from Hoggett all the way up to MTM at night.
Yeah.
And I see the reflectors on both sides of the road.
Of course,
I see.
And rightfully so. But again, you're going to come out. You're going to see a lot of these politicians saying, "I did this, I did that, I got this for this," and and it may sound good, and it's probably good in black and white when you look at it and everything. But to me, you're just bragging about a job that I voted you for to do.
Right.
Don't brag to me about something you were supposed to do anyway. That was your job. So we were like, we did this and we did. I'm like, hey, man, if I hired you to babysit and you babysit my child, when I come home, whatever I did, and you tell me, well, I took care of the baby, I showered her, I fed her, and everything. I'm like, that was what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And I paid you for it.
Right.
So
I think, making sure that we don't get Payless paydays.
Yeah.
Making sure that we get our tax returns on time.
Yeah, making sure
that's all part of the contract.
Making sure that you collect.
That's all part of the deal. That's not anything special. That's what is expected out of our public servants.
Yeah.
However, when we look at 8 years, or we look at 2 years, or how many years certain senators have been in office, what do you really have to show for it?
True.
So if Guam is truly better than it was 7 years ago, are we just going to blame COVID? Are we just going to blame Mauar for the reasons why we don't have a better infrastructure? Because we can blame it. I think those are valid reasons why. When we look back and we say, how many schools did we build in the last 8 years?
Yeah.
How many public facilities increased?
Well,
and we'll say, we have those outside gyms.
Yeah.
And
$20 million.
And everybody else got in the way of our hospital.
Yeah.
And Mauar and COVID. Well, I would also argue that COVID gave you millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. We'll take this break, 5:37 in the afternoon. And we'll take your phone calls on the other side of this. We got to get another Real Deal traffic report. I promise we'll make it fast, yeah? Yep. All right. This is Wave 105.
Calling all engaged couples and event planners. Join Leo Palace Resort Guam for our first ever bridal and event expo, The Road to I Do. Happening March 21st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Zafiro Ballroom. Explore venue options, financial planning, bridal glam, formal wear, wellness, entertainment services, and more, all in one place. The Road to I Do at Leo Palace Resort Guam. Design your day, define your forever. Special thanks to Power 98, Wave 105, and Route 99.
A challenge to current and future tomorrow generations. Hinasu ginini Komisyon Ifino Tamoru, Ekunguk si Dr. Laura M. Torres Sauter.
There are generations of Tamoros who went before you, who have paved the way. Recognize them always. We have to recognize our ancestors. We have to recognize those who are pace setters, who contributed to where we are at today. But don't be afraid to move forward. Don't be afraid to write your own chapter. If you are left out, it's because you didn't do a damn thing about it. If Chamorro language dies in the next generation, 30 years, it's because your generation didn't do anything about it. All I ask the future generations is to take their role in this quest seriously.
March 7th is right around the corner, and you know what that means. It's Hagåtña City Run and Block Party time. Join Bank of Guam for its annual 5K and Block Party, bringing the community together in the fight against cancer. Run for a cause and stay for the party. For more info and to register, visit bankofguam.com/events. Proceeds to benefit American Cancer Society and Guam Cancer Care. Bank of Guam, the People's Bank. Member FDIC.
5:39 in the afternoon. Once again, it's time to check the roads of Guam. And he's going to let you know where to go, where to avoid all the traffic. It's Mr. Pauly Suba. Buenas.
All right. So, yeah, we are definitely seeing quite a few congested areas along Route 1 that begin in Hagåtña and continue northbound. I see there is difficulty trying to get up from Tumon onto Marine Corps Drive, and then major delays in Upper Tumon leading into the Micronesia Mall. Things do kind of open up for you on Route 1, but then as you get closer and closer to Isangsong Road and that Mobile intersection, there's delays there. And then you've got a straightaway to Jigo from then on. Your Real Deal traffic report here on OA 105, brought to you by Mobile Oil Guam. Go farther on every journey with Mobile Synergy Supreme Plus Fuel, keeping your engine 3 times cleaner for better gas mileage. Visit guam.mobile.com for details. And Guam Auto Spot, schedule that test drive today at Guam Auto Spot. Call them up, 478-AUTO. View their inventory on their website at guamautospot.com.
Calling all engaged couples and event planners. Join Leo Palace Resort Guam for our first ever bridal and event expo, The Road to I Do, happening March 21st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Zafiro Ballroom. Explore venue options, financial planning, bridal glam, formal wear, wellness, entertainment services, and more, all in one place. The Road to I Do at Leo Palace Resort Guam. Design your day, define your forever. Special thanks to Power 98, Wave 105, and Route 99.
Level up your fitness routine with Subway's new Fresh Fit collection, built to fuel your day with better-for-you subs. Each new Fresh Fit sub is packed with protein, stacked with a full serving of veggies, all under 500 calories. Give in to the guilt-free pleasures of the new Fresh Fit subs only at Subway. Eat fresh, feel good.
Mausanya ifinota. Hinasu ginini komisyon ifinot samoro. Ekungok si Senora Hope Cristobal.
I prata tsoguha i fino. Prata fan fino zamoro. Zano tana siguro na makompreprendi hit. Zangin i ume kungok tigef siguro. Debdi tana kloklaro. Lo mahput na lo lingsa pa ako na tempo todo megay no na problema no ti manali hit con tempo leko na zangin man fino English tasigi man fino Zamoro tia chasasa sinya ha.
All right, welcome back. 5:44 in the afternoon. You know, my mom was saying that she's seeing more and more visitors in Tumon.
Yes.
And then I even have a son that works down in Tumon, and he's saying he sees it.
Actually, you know, I'm glad you brought that up because last night, right after work, you know, a friend of mine, he and I, we went to go eat at one of the restaurants in Tamuning. And I kid you not, we walked in and the whole place was packed with tourists. And while we were there, you know, at our table, you had different groups.
It's still kind of cold, right, in Korea and Japan?
Yeah.
It's starting to warm up too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what everybody's talking about. Or we don't have tourists. I'm like, man, they were coming in by droves. I mean, just sitting there for the first 30 minutes, I saw like different groups come in, you know, by one or, you know, like 2 tourists, and a group of 4, and like probably, and then to add on to what was already there when we got there. I mean, on the bar area to the dining area to the booths, it was pretty packed. And kudos to GVB for, I guess what Regine Viscoli is saying, that yes, the tourists are coming and they are here. I'm seeing it.
I'm seeing it.
Yeah, I'm seeing it. So kudos to GVB.
All right. Do we have somebody on the line, or they're calling back? Yeah. All right. Yeah, no worries. So I don't want to change the subject yet unless they do. Holiday Wave 105, you're on the air.
Hey, Pauly. How you doing, my friend?
What's going on?
Hey, nothing, brother. Happy Tuesday.
Right?
Yeah. Hey, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
In regards to, I know it might, I don't think it's a part of your topic, but anyways, for I know Simon Sanchez, I think they redid or in the process, right, of moving forward, or rebuilding the school and all,
with a temporary facility, not the actual Simon Sanchez, because that's still
okay. But then now my question is, so what happens? I mean, because I heard from other people that work at JFK.
Yeah.
So I got a question as to, they're stating, I guess they're going to stop the double session for next school semester or school year.
Yes, that is the goal.
Okay, so that's actually true, or
it is the goal. And
the goal. But then where are they going to put the Sanchez students?
There are rumors of flying, and so that's
what I've been
the
hearing.
sad part.
I don't know if we heard the same thing, but
what did you hear?
So what I'm hearing is they're going to take the Teason High students and squash that school and restructure and redistrict and have them split for those that are district in the central to go to GW. And Sanchez is going to take over the Teason compound. But then if that's so true, my question is, what happens to all these students that are not district of GW, and are district of Teason High? Now that if that is so true, Sanchez is going to come and trump over them and take over the school. So where do you leave these upcoming seniors that are going to graduate as a Titan? I mean, if that's the route they're going to do, I mean, as a student, that would be, as a senior, that would be a big slap in my face. I did 3 years as a Titan, and then, you know what I mean, right?
These are communities, and so they have to treat it as such, and so they have to continue that dialogue with these communities, with the Teason communities that include the teachers, the parents, the students.
Yeah, because that's so unfair. You're just going to rob them off of their, you know what I mean, right? You know how it is. We all been through.
Yes.
We all graduated. We know we know what it means to graduate as your, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Your alma mater and all that. You did, so much, huh?
Yes.
I mean, if that's the route they're going to take, I think, man, they really need to, put it out there and hear all the input from all the parents that are, you know what I mean? And especially the students themselves,
It needs to be more than these rumors. They need to have an honest dialogue, and these students didn't get the opportunity with the new leadership at GDOE.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I heard the other rumor is that they can fit Simon Sanchez and Teason in one campus. And how they're going to do that is they're not going to take incoming Simon Sanchez freshmen. And so the FBLG students would go to Ukadu or JFK. And
but my thing is, how would you fit that total capacity of students from Sanchez together with Teason High?
Because
there's a lot of students there in that campus,
So I was asking the same question, and again, this is a rumor. So, the person that is giving me these answers from what they heard isn't somebody that is a decision maker. So, again, it's a rumor, and I almost don't really want to. I'll just share what was told to me.
No worries.
And as long as we're just saying that these are rumors, right? So there won't be any incoming freshmen for Teason and for Sanchez. And so the 9th graders become 10th graders, the 10th graders become 11th graders, the 11th graders become 12th graders, and the 12th graders go.
Okay.
So you're only going to have...
my question is, though, if you have Antillon Middle School students that are graduating as an 8th grader...
They're not going to Teason.
And that district is it's not called for GW because that is really out of district. That's a Tees and High district.
They
so
won't.
where does that put those?
They'll go to GW. They'll go to GW, yeah. But again, that's a rumor.
Yeah, I know it's a rumor, but let's say we're talking district-wise, right? Rules are rules, right? You know what I mean?
Well,
So,
I mean, they're breaking the rules now, or they're allowing students to just, if you go to JFK, if your district is JFK, or your district is Sanchez, or your district is Ukadu, you can go to any school you want. Because, yeah. And I know of students and parents that have taken that. This was, again, under Superintendent Eric Swanson's leadership.
Yes.
And they go to GW because they don't want their kid to double session. And so they took them up on that offer.
Doesn't that defeat the purpose of the population? I mean, like being overpopulated?
There's no overpopulation.
You know what I mean, right?
There's no overpopulation anymore.
Really?
And I would say, and so we know that the populations have decreased in the public school. And,
of course, because of everything going, they're going private or,
charter school.
Yeah.
Charter schools is a big one, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, because I have a kid that's going to be an incoming senior at Teason come next year, so I put myself in his shoe, man.
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of messed up if you know what I mean.
Yes.
You don't get to graduate as your alma mater. You
Absolutely, absolutely. And so I hope these town hall meetings happen. The one it did happen, and none of the GDOE leadership showed up, not even one. And that was sad to see. And so I hope that they schedule another one very soon and they give the opportunity to your stakeholders, the people you serve, these communities, because Simon Sanchez students have plenty of questions. JFK have plenty of questions. Ukadu and Teason. They're all, even though the previous board and the previous chairman has said Teason is not on the chopping block. It is not. Well, there's a new leadership in town in GDOE.
It's a new year. It's going to be a new whole, it's voting. It's election season. So you know how that goes, man. Everything's going to start shifting again.
Yeah. And so why do we have all of these rumors? Well, I think they're doing it to themselves. You're not confronting the communities. You're not answering the questions. So all that's left are rumors.
And, as parents, we need to prepare.
Right.
It's not like, if you say it now, we can make it work, especially, our daily in and out, livelihood in itself,
Yes, absolutely.
All right, my friend. Well, so let me give you a call, find out if you know more. But, I heard a rumor today, so I was kind of bummed when I heard that. It's like, man, there has to be another way to do this. If, they can't just do these, do dirty to these kids,
Right. And so I think that the communities are doing everything the right way. I mean, they're gathering information, they're protesting, and they are making their voices heard. And so at this point, well, you need to listen to the will of the people. Maybe this is not the direction that you intended, but who do you serve?
Exactly. Well, like the saying goes, man, power of the people,
Yeah.
All right, my friend.
Right.
Well, you have a good evening.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, John. Take care.
Well, I mean, even when they try to, meet with the kids and everything, none of them showed. So, yeah, there goes that, right?
So, I mean, things kind of move fast. I mean, when you think about it, I still remember a time where why did they need Teason High? Yeah. Well, it was to solve the overpopulation. And now there is no Southern High. You could take central office and put them all in Southern High. There's so many vacancies from what I was told, vacant spaces. And that was something Senator Shanga Matautau said. You could save so much money if you took your central office and set up shop in Southern High. And Eric Swanson had said, okay, as long as we keep that $9 million, right? Because then we can take that $9 million and we can use it for other things. However, I don't think that is the case. I think you move out of central office, guess another government agency will move right in.
When you realize savings, cost savings.
Right.
Eric was like, yeah, okay, yeah, we saved $9 million, but we still want it.
Yeah, we still want that money because clearly GDOE would still can find a use for it, right? And this is a year.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, there's even arguments now. I mean, I heard somebody on the record, and you'll have to go back because now I'm even second guessing. But we had a caller. Frank called in and says, at this point with the population, I don't agree because promises have been made, but it's a fair statement, right? He said it's not a good use of taxpayer money to build another school if we can fit all the public school students in the schools we have now. That's his statement. I don't agree with that, but that is somebody in this community, and I've heard it. I've heard it at a round table meeting.
Well, they say that, what is the population now? 24,000?
Yeah.
It used to be 30,000 students, right?
Right.
But then charter and private schools,
And leaving the island. Or going to Dodea.
So the part of the rationale behind closing schools is they don't have the population to sustain a school.
Yeah, and so they did the two schools that they closed down. There was still pushback.
Yeah.
Especially Chief Brody.
Yeah.
But those were the two decisions that those were the easy decisions. You're going to have to make some tough decisions. And I'm not saying don't make tough decisions. You're going to have to make tough decisions, right? You need to just be honest with people. Just like, again, if there needs to be cuts in the government, then just we don't need rhetoric. We
Just
don't
do
need fancy messaging.
Like rifle?
Just be honest with the people. This is a situation that we're facing.
Yeah.
But also do what the military does, whether we agree with them or not. They have town hall meetings. They're putting out a couple of town hall meetings on training, right? And they're saying, whether we agree or not, they're saying we want meaningful dialogue with this community because our training is affecting these communities, Guam and the CNMI.
Yeah.
And so they are directed to have these meetings.
Yeah, they're engaged.
So the government, our local government too, when you're going to make these tough decisions, get in front of the people you serve and be honest with the people. And also be ready also to pivot.
Yeah.
Because if it is the will of the people and they're demanding it, then that's what they're saying. The majority of the people are saying, this is how I want my taxpayer money to be spent. They're telling you, I want my taxpayer money to be spent on a new high school, Simon Sanchez. They've told you this, and you've promised them it. That's why I say you cannot go back on it. Okay, it's not prudent. Okay, we need to understand the complexities of where we are in our economy. Well, the people have already said, I want my money spent on a new school, Simon Sanchez. So now you have to make good on that promise.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so if you're saying, well, we need to fit these two schools into Tizen, well, if you get in front of them and you tell and you be honest with them and say, we just don't have the funding. The people that pay your paychecks and pay the taxes go to these meetings and say, no, that's not happening. My child will graduate in Tizen. And if that is the will, then that's who you serve.
But at the same time, the people, they do pay their taxes and they do want their money spent on certain things. But the reality, of course, is there needs to be a compromise in terms of look, we just don't have the money.
Sure.
And I think,
and if you be honest with them and you
I
make
think-
those tough decisions, then so be it. Live with it.
Yeah.
Live with it. And then come August, we'll vote you out.
Yeah. Well, that too,
We'll
right?
vote you out. We will vote you out.
You know, and
so thank you for making the hard decision and you telling us all the messaging that we must be prudent with whose money? My money? It's
Well-
not your money.
Well, you know, in the beginning of this term, right, you know, you had one senator that says, hey, we're going to cut.
Yeah.
And I have yet to see any.
So,
You know, talk a big game and, you know, of
I'm
course.
all
yeah.
for, yes, be honest and still you got to do what's best for everybody. But guess what? Every 2 years, we can vote you out because you didn't listen to the people you serve.
Poor performance.
All right, we'll take our leave.
Yes.
We'll do it all again tomorrow. Mornings with Patty, rolling with dice from 6 to 10. Vet Talk from 10 to 12 with Uncle Johnny and his Admiral, Auntie Bobby. Charlie Hermoso will probably make a guest appearance. Ryan and I will do another Brightside from 2 to 4. And then Odin Finutsumoro with Senor Ron Laguatnia from 4 to 6. All on a Wednesday, all right here on the Talk of Guam. We are Wave 105. KGUM-FM, Dead at Guam. Everybody get home safe. Be kind to each other, especially out on those roads. Adios.
You're listening to KGUM-FM, Dedido. Wave